So, wow, that was quick. Hey, well, everybody, first of all, thank you and welcome to the very first Brown and Balance presents Juneteenth. I'm your humble and gracious host, Josh Davis, the founder of Brown and Balance. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, taking some time out of your day. What we are doing today, we are going to celebrate the official ending of slavery in the United States. Just to put Juneteenth in perspective, everybody, I just want to let y'all know the Emancipation Proclamation, it went into executive order. It went into effect January 1st of 1863. The Civil War ended on April 9th of 1865. The last slaves got freed in Texas on April 9th of 1865. So what we're doing today is we celebrate and understand that it took almost 2 years for all of us to truly be free-ish. Texas, y'all got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? But what we want to do is normally today is a day for me. It's a day of reflection. I think about my ancestors. I think about all the things they went through every single day of their lives to get us to the point to where I'm able to speak to all of you guys on this platform right now. And I usually just always want to reflect, think back, think about grandfathers, uncles, great-grandfathers, grandmothers, everybody who went through all the struggle and pain. And normally I just chill out today. I don't really do too much. I don't do a lot of celebrating. I don't hang out. There's really no way to celebrate Juneteenth, right? Because even though we were free-ish, you know, it still took way too long, you know what I mean, for everything to happen. You know, the United States was celebrating the 4th of July, 1776. We weren't all the way free. So normally I'm not in a very celebratory mood, but this year, because of the climate that we're in, the times that we're in the world right now, and just all the things that are going on, I felt like today would be a great day to celebrate greatness. And in that, y'all see me enough. It ain't about me. I never want things to be about me. I want to bring on some really good family, not just friends, family on here. And I want to celebrate all of them and all the dope things they do all day long. So we got a lot planned for you guys today. I want y'all to stay tuned. If you have not seen it yet, there's a PDF out there. It's on my page, Josh Davis on Facebook. Lush Life is going to put it into the comments on the Portland Cocktail Week page. By all means, grab it, download it, check it out. It is a living resource for everyone in the industry to know the first set. I think we're going to do volume 2, but we're going to learn the first set of people that we're interviewing today. We're going to learn a lot about them. We're going to know their values. All of the things that they represent, for the most part, are in that document. So please, everybody, download it, check it out, keep it, you know what I'm saying, for yourself, for safekeeping. When you're looking to get involved in the community with some of these organizations that are going to be featured today, it'll all be on there. So without further ado, I just want to start off real quick, and I want to go to New Orleans, and I want to talk to my brother Toure folks. So we're going to bring him on the screen real quick. Toure, you there?
I had to unmute myself, sorry.
Yeah. What's up, big dog? How you doing, man?
How are you?
All right, I can't see you yet, but I'm looking for you.
Oh,
I can't. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, see, it ain't want me on the screen. We want to talk about you, man. First of all, how you doing today, sir?
Doing good. Great.
Doing good? Hey, so first and foremost, man, look, I know what you do. There's a lot of people out in the Facebook world that are on this live watching and know what you do. I would like for you first, man, just to explain to us what Turning Table is and what do you do in New Orleans?
So I'm a bartender, but more than that, turntables, came from my experience of just coming to hospitality and not seeing, rooms for advancement or rooms for education and training and spaces that were safe and equitable access. So turntables in my first year just came from that and from love and mentorship and just want to create a community and family and support as everyone goes through, hospitality that doesn't happen in general. And fittingly, it's an all black, mostly black city that ironically, there's not like the percentage of black owned restaurants is absurd. And black owners, like in comparison to like a larger playing field of like hospitality, bartenders are far and few between. Obviously we're in a black city, so there are bartenders, but people that have access to certain jobs and certain accessibility and certain positions that lead to economics are far and few between. So I wanted to have people come in, support, as well as have the resources and the tools to succeed. And I think in this first year, we were super successful in just getting support from the community through brand ambassadors, restaurants, other bartenders in the community and just like creating a family. You know, a lot of the bartenders in New Orleans, I think that we're mentors in the program, came together in a powerful way. And, you know, everyone I think knows who these, you know, people are now, and, you know, more willing to know that they have to do the work and know that we have a far way to go before, like, you know, everything is equitable and, you know, more diverse, and doing it in an intentional way, that it's not just like performative or like a handbag, you know, you just like doing the training, doing all of the work in addition to like giving them an opportunity.
Word. So what type of things, I know Turning Tables is really, really huge on like educational opportunities. That was the one thing that stuck out to me most. Do you want to speak to that point of it, some of the things you guys have offered for the bartenders and hospitality professionals down in New Orleans educationally?
Yeah, so, you know, I create a curriculum, and it's always, you know, a collaboration. Like this next year, I'm collaborating with one of my students that went through the program, but, you know, Kapri, for instance, you know, Adrienne Crumpton was huge in everything that we did this year. She gave them bar tools. She was a presence. Talk about mentors, like she's straight up the godmother of all this. And so she taught classes. She did all the things that people should be doing, you know, but, you know, have not been. So, you know, from everyone from restaurants to educators and spirits, each week was specifically dedicated to a spirit or wine or beer or front of the house. In addition to that, just like learning how to market themselves, learning how there was different pathways to hospitality. So that was part of the curriculum, but just also just exposure. So constantly putting them in people's faces and giving them opportunities through, whether it be like a fundraiser or a happy hour or whatever, any opportunity that could put them in someone's face, that's just what happened. And
Word. That's dope, kid. I love that, man. Well, look, I'm gonna hit you with a look. I got 2 tough questions for you. Oof. You know, you I gotta get you. I gotta throw a curveball in there. So for you, man, you the man with the $1 million smile, dude. Like every time I've seen you, you've been in a dope mood. You've been in a great mood. You've been positive. Everything is good. But you're still a black man in America.
Yeah.
You're a black man in America in the South.
Yep.
What would be something that you would want to impart to a younger bartender that might be struggling, a younger black bartender that might be struggling, that might be trying to find his way in the industry, some things that you have overcame and some advice you would like to give to them to pass on to help them out to make it through to the rest of the, to progress in industry?
I think I would say make yourself vulnerable, be willing to learn, and look out for mentors. So I think a lot of the times you feel like you're in this alone. So if you do those 3 things at least, you're putting yourself in environments that you normally wouldn't. And the challenge of that is like pushing through that. So for your own exposure and seeking out educational opportunities outside of what you know. So even though I've been in hospitality myself for you know, a fair amount of time, it took a while for me, like I didn't even know about Run Amok. I didn't know about like all these educational opportunities out there. And when I did, I was like, what is that? What's going on? You know, I think like you live in a world where you're bartending, but unless you really seek it, unless you're hungry for it, you don't know about the larger picture. So I would say seek the larger picture. You know, learn about spirits, connect with people. You know, do all that you can to create a platform, but don't do it by yourself. Look out for other Black bartenders and platforms that support you. Look for a community and support yourself in that community. You know, like I think one of my shortcomings is that I haven't done that as much myself, and I want to do it more. And I think, but I did successfully throughout my career, like build these relationships, and I think everyone needs to do that. And I think I would encourage you from jump to come in and just build relationships that are intentional.
Word, super dope. I like that idea. I like that attitude. We're having a Juneteenth celebration. Like I said, normally I don't celebrate today. Normally today is like just a day of just reflection and really just kind of centering myself and really just taking in everything to everyone who came before all of us, what they did so that we can talk like this. But since we're doing this virtually, if this was a real Juneteenth party and you was coming to the party, what would be the one thing you would have to bring? Yeah. I told you I was gonna get you, man.
What would be the What would be the one thing I would have?
What was the one thing to let us know that Toure was at the Juneteenth celebration?
My record player.
Hey, all right. And what are we listening to on your record player?
Everything. I listen to everything. I mean, my record player has soul. It has like, you know, it has white people shit. It has jazz. It has like everything. So like for the party, I would celebrate. You know, I have like if you look at this collection right behind me. I'm just gonna show you.
Okay.
I mean, observe. Like music is just like
this is the MTV Cribs version of.
So like, look at this record player right here. This is
that's
like everything to me. Like, and this is like in the swing of things. Like, it's like minuscule to people's collections, but like you know, I would just bring music and just keep the party going. Just like just keep flipping it. Just like playing different things.
Word. So where do you see turntables going, man, in the next few years, man? Like, what do you without giving too much away, of course, because I know ideas is yours. You don't want to share with everybody. Take it. But what are some things that you maybe have in the works? I know you emailed me something, and we spoke about that, and I love that idea. What's some other things that you see turntables growing into for the future?
I think this is a good start right here. You know, just like the this alone. So I think more and more places where we do adjacent work to each other, we just need to connect and not make it hard on ourselves. But like in terms of where I see turntables going, we just have to be, we have to change as the industry changes and just be innovative in that way and show our excellence in that fashion. Just like adapt to the way the industry is going, which is like we don't know where it's going, but don't sit there and watch it happen. I think just like innovation in terms of how you put yourself out there, how you still make a livable wage, just do things, be open to doing things that like we haven't done before. So, I mean, I'm going to have to adapt because we're obviously not bartending right now, but there are still opportunities that are available while people are out of work and just looking into like what all those possibilities are that are food and beverage adjacent, from maybe like packaging your own cocktails to like working in a situation where you are working more directly with food systems. I just think you just have to be adaptable to like what this industry, what direction it's in.
Love it. All right, man. But look, so before we move on to the next person that we have out there, man, just in your own words, man, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
I mean, it means like liberation, of course, but more so in this moment, it means freedom, and the freedom to be who you are and where we can go, and just like the fact that happened so many years ago. I mean, and we're still in the place that we are.
Mm-hmm.
We have a long way to go. So I think it means for me that don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. We still have to keep it going. We still have to keep that fire. We still have to like not get comfortable by things that are performative or a holiday. We just have to keep it going and just keep. That's more or less.
Yeah. Look, I love it. Look, like I was telling, I was talking with Micah earlier today, man. It's only been 155 years. You know what I mean? Like we some of us have family members in their 80s and 90s, so they were born on the tail end of this. So it's still, we've come a long way, but we have so much further to go. And I think days like today, starting off, I've been feeling like we're in the process now of the world is changing. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is a new beginning. Similar to how Juneteenth was a new beginning, this might be possibly a new beginning of time for us to come together and really push the culture forward. And days like today, like this means the world to me to have all you guys on and to do things like this, man. So, hey, thank you for giving me your time, brother. Cheers to you, man. I love you, dog.
Love you too, man. I got you. Wait, I got like I'm ready this time.
All right. Hey, cheers to you. And you know what I'm saying? I got my Russell's Reserve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Kapri. You know what I mean? Got my
collection, man.
Hey, cheers to you, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for just being you in this industry, in this game. You can always count on me for anything you need, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, brother. Thank you, man. Hey, that was a dope combo, man. But so look, that was just starting y'all off. So if y'all haven't got an idea what today is going to be about, today is going to be about putting the light and shining on some really, really dope, amazing people in this industry that most people know, but in case you don't know, we're gonna put them on today. So next, we just got done with Toure. Next we're gonna come back to my hometown. We're gonna come to Chicago, and we're gonna bring my pint-sized friend, Alexis Brown, of causing a stir on real quick, man, and get her going. Lexi, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? I'm just waiting to see that lovely face on the screen, man. And up there it is. So look, we spoke offline. You're gonna lead us in the Black National Anthem real quick?
I didn't know we were doing that for real.
I mean, we spoke offline. You know, we can wait to the end and do it all together, but I know you're a singer. So, you know.
I am not a singer. I'm a karaokeer.
Well,
But I can sing the first part only because we had to sing it every morning in Chicago public schools. So I'll do the first part, okay?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I gotta have a microphone. Hold on. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven rings. Ring with the harmony. I had to, of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as a lifting sky. Let us march on till victory is won. Okay, that's all I'm gonna give y'all right now.
Talking about, Lexi. Hey, look, when we come out of COVID, I'm gonna start a record label called Dead Bro Records. My first signee. You're gonna be my first signee.
Silly.
We're gonna be the only artists that make drinks as well. You know what I'm saying?
So I sing and dance, cocktail karaoke.
Hey, that's what we do, man. But first of all, I'm really happy to have you on. I remember the first day I met you when we were at, I'm not gonna say the company, but we were at another company's event, and we met and we instantly clicked, vibe, hung out, and we developed our friendship over the years, man. I've seen all the work you're doing. I just want to salute to you, hats off to you for everything you've done. So with everything you've done, tell the folks about that don't know, I don't know who don't know about Causing a Stir, because there's no way you don't know about Causing a Stir. But tell the people about Causing a Stir and what you do.
You think that, right? You think that people would know about Causing a Stir, but it's not the case all the time. But no, Causing a Stir started as a movement. It started out of a luncheon. Some women of color, some other ladies got together. We organized it, myself and my former co-founder, Ariel Neal. We, put together this luncheon and wanted to talk with other women of color in the industry to see, how we could share resources, how we could, support one another. And then from there, it got pushed into a nonprofit organization. So we have been a nonprofit since 2018 officially, because that's when we got our 501c3. So it has been an interesting journey. We have gone through a lot of trials, tribulations, gains and losses. And it's been just interesting to have an idea for something and then have all of these different hurdles to go through to actually make it be something. So I'm happy that we're still here and that we are doing some work in our community in the Chicago South Side. We operate out of Bronzeville Incubator. We are now that location is now a small business development site for the South Side. There's only 2 on the South Side. We just became the second. So it's one in Inglewood, and then we're in Bronzeville. So we got one on one side of the E-Way, and now we're on the other side of the E-Way for people to get resources who are trying to have businesses in hospitality. So we are advocating for that. And again, like what you all were talking about, just connecting with other organizations that are doing similar things and finding some way to, work together is what we found is more successful than us trying to do it on our own, because we don't know everything. I have never ran an organization, let alone a business, and this was my first venture. So it's just been an interesting case. But essentially, what we do is we host workshops, classes, and events that highlight and educate underrepresented individuals. So people from the South Side and West Side of Chicago.
Word. Shout out. Hey, side note, shout out to Inglewood. That's my hometown. 56 in Aberdeen. You already know. I didn't know you guys had a location in Inglewood as well, so salute to you for that. That is truly an area that needs the love, that doesn't get enough love. I knew you were in Bronzeville, but I didn't realize it was in Inglewood. So we'll talk about that more offline, because I definitely want to be a part of whatever you got going on there. But with Cause and Stir, like you said, you've been through a lot of ups and downs. I've been here for a lot of your ups and downs. We've been on the phone, we've talked, you vented to me, I vented to you. We've done all that back and forth. Where would you like to see Cause and Stir going in the next 2, 3, 5 years?
So because I realized, you know, when we've looked far into the future and said, sorry, y'all, lost y'all.
You got the Teddy Riley?
Yeah. No, what I was saying was, I'm sorry, I'm back. No, I think that I'm kind of like taking it one day at a time with Causing a Stir. We had big dreams when we first started. We had big dreams. We had passions of seeing like every underserved community in all cities having a Causing a Stir chapter, and we wanted to create this membership organization where all of these Black and brown people could come together and do that. And honestly, like, that hasn't been the case. You know, that wasn't realistic. So now I think that having like 6-month goals and 1-year goals are like better positioning for us, just because we're kind of like learning as we go. Like I said, I don't have a lot of mentors that help in this particular space for like nonprofit work or community work. So we're taking it day by day, aligning with other people that are already doing some work like ours, and just getting our niche, partnering with our niche of spirits, cocktails, hospitality. So when you say, what is our goal? My goal is, we talked about this a little bit on my live yesterday, but maybe a 2-year goal is creating like a retreat for all of these Black leaders to come together so that we can, you know, align on some things. You know, I was talking yesterday about how, you know, throughout history, you see that there are a lot of leaders and they might have different views on things, but I think that just noticing how history is gone, I think that to be like, we need to have a common ground. We need to understand that we're all working for the same, you know, thing, and understanding what your company does, and then if this comes up, this is how we align, or this is how we integrate one another into initiatives, so that we're not like overlapping, and then making people choose who they want to support, or how, you know, then we can have like this bigger umbrella thing that everyone trickles down and is a part of, essentially. Yeah. So that's personally, selfishly, my 2-year goal is to kind of create that retreat so that we can all talk about it and align, and just have some time to like hash out whatever grievances we have and just be on the same page.
Dope. I like that. I actually, I spoke about that on the Brown and Balance Happy Hour I did one day, that like a weekend where we all just get together, sit down and talk.
We need longer than a weekend. We need a week. We need a week, and we need an island so that some people could be on one side and the other people could be on the other. And then we can, after we figure out when we get in our space, then we can all come together. So we need like days to ourselves, and then collaborative days. So we need longer than a weekend.
But I think days like today, like, I mean, personally, selfishly, myself, I'm using my platform to bring all of us together, kind of like Voltron. And I'm like, there's a million Black leaders all across this industry. There's a bunch of us, you know what I mean? Everybody's doing their own little thing together, but if we all come together and we all put it together, it's kind of like the RZA, right? When the RZA put Wu-Tang together, he knew everybody was dope, but they be even
in their own special way.
But they could all take over if they stood together. And then once they stand together, now you can branch off and do your own thing after that. So I'm with you on that idea. I love that idea. I've had the similar thoughts of that. Today is kind of my kickoff to that idea. Let's talk about that more, because I'm definitely down to do that. I feel like everybody has something to offer. And since everybody has something to offer, everybody should know Let's just all put in. It's just like back in the day when we were all broke and didn't know how to drink properly, and we just threw bottles, just put some couple dollars on the bottle here and there. Let's do the same thing in this industry. Let's put all of our talents and all of our just all of our talents really in one place and make it happen. So I'm with you there. Cheers to you for that. You're someone like me. You kind of came up. You worked in quote unquote. I hate this word. I almost cursed. I know I'm not supposed to curse, but I hate this word, multicultural and general market. I hate the distinction between the two. I feel like hospitality is hospitality, but you've worked in both. You know what I'm saying? You've been, in the spots in the neighborhood. You've been in spots downtown. You've traveled. You've moved around. You've done a bunch of different events, different things. What would be the best advice you would give a young bartender who's looking at Lexi like, wow, Lexi is dope. Lexi does this. Lexi does that. I want to be like her. What would be one thing you would definitely want to share with that person to help them achieve all their goals?
You can do it. I mean, at the end of the day, like that, I always just try to like lead by example the best way that I can. But no, like I just want people to, if that is an aspiration, just know that you can achieve it. It's gonna take some work. It's gonna take a lot of criticism. It's gonna take a lot of sacrifice. But like I said in my on my commencement speech for the next graduating class of bartenders, go for it. Like you need to put yourself out there. It's important that you do because we need the representation, and believing in yourself is the most important part of it. So if there's something you want to do, then do it. It is possible. You can. It's one of the most rewarding professions ever, in my opinion, just because of the nature. You get to meet so many different people. You get to travel the world. You get to understand at a very human level people. So I just say go for it. And if you need help or if you have questions, like send me a DM, shoot me a text. I make myself available for anyone who's reaching out with help, because I know how it feels to get ignored or to, be demeaned. So I make sure that I make myself available for people who have questions or like, hey, I don't know where to start. How can I, or I love this about this. And I'm like, you can do this too. It's not just me. I'm no different. I don't think I'm different than anybody else. I have the same qualities God equipped me with.
You are different. You're Alexis. Everybody's different. You're Alexis. You. You know what I mean? And we love you for being you. You know what I mean? So, no problem. So look, I know we got a busy day. I got some more people I need to get to. I know you have a live at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock?
It is 3 o'clock.
3, you sure?
It's because I'm in Miami right now, so my timing is off. So it is 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's 4 p.m. here where I am. So 3 p.m. Chicago time. 3 p.m. Chicago time. I'm going live with liquor.com. And Chastity Cooper.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. So everybody, please, when we're done here, definitely jump on Instagram, log in to Ashton, check out what she's doing on liquor.com. But before you get out of here, I got to ask you the same thing I gave to Ray.
Yeah.
If we were partying and we was hanging out today for Juneteenth, what you bringing to the party?
I'm bringing some cards.
Night. What we playing? We playing Bitter
We playing casino, and then we gonna play spades.
I love it. It's good with me, yo. Cheers to you for that. Lexi,
cheers.
I love you.
I don't have my drink, but cheers. Cheers and happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Hey, thank you. I love you. Big bro loves you. We big and little. We still got to put that together. So thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for giving me some time today. I truly, truly appreciate your story, everything you've done, and everything you're going to do. And if you ever need me, you already know. Just hit me.
Thank you. I can't wait to link up with all y'all on here. Love my brothers and my sisters. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, mama.
Love you too.
All right, y'all. Wow, man. Look, I told you we coming out the gate, man, with some really, really strong, really, really dope people, man. So we're having fun, man. I'm gonna take a quick sip of my Russell's Reserve Single Barrel. Shout out to Kapri for sponsoring us today. Thank you all very much for all the support and all the love. I'm gonna take a quick look because I've been talking a little bit. So let me with the palette real quick, and now we're gonna go to DC real quick. So if y'all aren't seeing how we're doing, we're crisscrossing the country. We're covering everywhere. It's a lot of dope people everywhere. And the people you don't know, the people you guys are gonna meet today can point you in the direction of other folks. So, Kapri and Mike, Chocolate City's best, man. Are y'all ready to rock with me?
Let's go.
You ready?
Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about. We have Mike on the screen too. Is he on the screen too? I see Kapri, but I don't see Mike.
I'm here.
He's in here.
You here? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today, y'all?
Good. Chilling.
Man, y'all chilling? Hey, look, I'm having a good time today. This is so dope. Let me switch my speaker. I'm having a good time. Look, first of all, Mike, you from my hometown. You was Chicago.
From the South Side, don't forget.
You was South Side Chicago dude like me.
3125 South Emerald.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Inglewood.
Hey,
Oh!
bro, that's what I'm talking about. So, yo, Kapri, you were part of the inaugural DC Brown and Balance, the all-women edition of Brown and Balance, a powerful statement, powerful moment. I appreciate y'all giving me y'all time. I don't care who goes, because y'all are both amazing. Tell us about Chocolate City's best.
Me?
Either one. Y'all both are dope.
I'll do it. So Chocolate City's best. First off, I just want to say thank you so much, Josh, for allowing us to be on this platform. I know we talked about bringing everyone together across the country that are, huge Black leaders in the industry, and this is really awesome and beautiful. I want to thank you to Kapri also. Thank you so much. I got my Kapri and soda drinking and sipping. So I appreciate that. But Chocolate City's best, yes, is a platform to bring people of color in the industry to opportunities in the industry to elevate their careers. So we do that through lots of different ways: competition, educational classes, panel, art forms, workshops, and we decided, and what we're doing is creating doors for people in the industry to get into higher levels, finding those opportunities that they didn't know that were possible, and connecting them to it is pretty much what we do.
Word. Now, in y'all city though, because I mean, me and you, Kapri, we talked about this. Like, y'all got a Black city. I can't curse, so y'all know what I mean. But y'all got a Black city. Like, that's Chocolate City for real. I've never had a bad night in DC. We'll talk about that offline. I'm not gonna do it today, but I've had great nights at Stadium and at every other bar in DC.
Yeah.
I had a good time. You know what I mean? So in that city, like, how did y'all figure out that there was still a need for that in a city that's as diverse and has so many Black bartenders and so many Black reps? Like, some of the top, Tracy, Vance, Torrance, like, all you guys are all from the DMV area. Clive Davis, it's just, the list can go on and on and on. How did you guys still identify that was still needed in your city?
Mike, you want to take it?
Sure. So Chocolate City, like most major cities in the U.S., has undergone changes through gentrification. And what you see outside of D.C. is not what you get when you're in D.C. When you're in D.C., that same reputation is not there, right? Representation is not there. When you see see us at Tails or Radical Xchange or Camp Runamuck events, we're the ones who were privileged enough to have the opportunity to be gatekeepers and step outside. Like, you from Chicago, like I'm from Chicago. If you want this, you really got to grind and you got to hustle. So you see are those with those grinding and hustling mentalities. And privileged enough to make it happen, because as people of color, as Black people, there's a lot of emotional labor that goes into this job. We're not a monolith. We really are privileged, everyone on this panel, to have these opportunities. But I believe, as Chocolate City believes, it's our obligation. We need to make sure that those doors are open so that we can unearth those other gems that maybe they didn't have the privilege to be seen, or we can shine light on those who have been overseen. Like, my personal first experience in the industry was as a doorman. I'm coming from Howard, educated, and I wanted to be a bartender. They're like, no, you can be a doorman because you're big and you're Black. You do not fit what our clientele is. And the clientele was white, blonde, male bartender, with the beard, or what they consider attractive women, not Black. You know what I mean? So So what you see is definitely not what DC is. And as across America, things are changing, and we need to stand up for those Black-owned bars and restaurants. Chocolate City, we're implementing in the future. We're implementing things to directly aid Black bars and restaurants, and we need to continue doing what we're doing now and come together and build those villages so we can be Harriet Tubmans of our industry and give liberation to other Black and brown individuals.
Word. That's dope. Hey, that's dope.
If I could also piggyback off of that, Chocolate City's Best is not just about what we're doing in DC, but what we want to do nationally altogether. So we want to be a bridge, a door for people of color in the industry, Black people in the industry, across the board, across the nation, and partner with what we're doing with all the groups and leaders that are doing things in this nation. So we saw this disparity not only in our own city, but in the nation itself, and what we were watching on, the different liquor.coms and Punch editorial things, the type of presenters that we were seeing and stuff like that. We want to do better and make the door open wide enough that we're instantly growing our faces and our presence in the industry together.
Super dope, super dope. Hey, look, I gotta ask y'all this. I've been wanting to know this. So, Kapri, I met you at Brown and Balance, and right before camp. Holiday, I met you at camp. Did y'all know each other before camp? Like, how did y'all come together to form Chocolate City? Like, what was the brainchild between the two of y'all that kind of formed Chocolate City's Best?
You go, Kapri.
Okay, so we totally knew each other before camp. Me and Mike, we worked at a restaurant called Farmers Fishers Bakers, and I need to stop putting their name out there, but we worked at this restaurant, and there, like, we, went through the struggles in that restaurant together. We bartended together. I actually kind of trained Mike in bartending at that bar, and from there, we knew that we wanted to work together. We started actually something beforehand that didn't quite put itself together, but where we started to know that we could work together was Mavis Club and trying to do pop-ups and different things like that. And then a few years after that, that kind of dissipated a little bit, but I went to Tales of the Cocktail, and I remember, like, I wanted to do this huge thing that I felt like I needed to do for the people of color in the industry. And one of the first people, along with my our other founder, Anisha Gupta, I told Anisha Gupta and Mike about what I wanted to do in the drive that I wanted to have for Chocolate City's Best and my vision. And they were both so on board, and Mike has been just there to just be like, this is what we need to do, this is how we move forward, this is what we do. And he's just been just the driving force for a lot of the platforms that you've seen. But the biggest connecting was that we wanted to see more from us in the industry. We both understood that our quality and our presence needed to be more in the industry. And we knew that there were so many people so talented in the industry that we needed to highlight, including ourselves, including, other people. It's just like, we just felt that need to do more in the industry in general.
Super dope, super dope. I literally was like, I remember meeting y'all, knowing y'all, and like, I love what both of them individually. And then when I saw y'all come together and I saw all those dope pictures from that dope competition y'all did, that I wish I wasn't working for a brand at the time and I could have been a part of. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Mayo to Media. Those our partnership with Mayo to Media. They've captured so much content for us. They are Chocolate City's Best production company. They are the leaders in that. So shout out to them. It would not have been possible to visually capture that experience without them.
No, love to them, man. Yo, speaking of that, what do we got coming up next? We got any more competitions? We got
absolutely.
Initiatives? Because I'm back. I'm a free agent again, so now I can come be a part, and I can bring some Brown and Balance to Chocolate City's Best, and we can and I can jump in. You know what I mean? So what do we got coming up? Once post-COVID, when we're able to come outside for real. You know what I mean? Yeah. And get back to a semblance of normalcy.
So our competition is actually annual. So we will be having that competition every year. And that is for people of color in the industry. So you all will be seeing something from us by the end of July, early August on how to apply for that competition. The competition is every year in October. This year, that's all I can give you on that. We have some surprises and things, so I'm not going to put anything more. But you all just keep in touch with us. We want people from around the nation to be applying to this. And talking to that, you were talking about kind of goals, and you might ask us later. But one of the goals is to have Chocolate City's Best as a national competition in partnership with all of these leaders that are across the country. So, the goal of like coming to Chicago, having a Brown and Balance pop up at a competition there in Chicago, going to Atlanta, having the Sip of Paradise and different things pop ups there, going to New Orleans, having the Turning Tables pop up at the competition. We want to make this a national thing, so just like as big as possible, just like your Bacardi Legacy, just like your Diageo. We want this competition to be huge, literally driving Black and brown faces, Black, brown, yellow faces in the industry as much as possible, and getting them those opportunities that you see that these other competitions receive. So that is very huge for our competition. It's every year, y'all, and y'all are not missing out. But we have a lot of other things that we've been doing and coming up. If you want to talk about it, Mike.
Oh yeah, we have. One of my most prideful events is our Beyond the Bar, right? Beyond the Bar, we have our production company. We capture, we use mixed media to capture, we capture bartenders or bar professionals who usually do not get the spotlight. And with that, we highlight the fact that Black people, we're not a monolith, right? So we're talking about everyone from the LGBTQ, QIA plus community. We're talking about those who've been in the industry for a while, the OGs, and we're talking about the young and upcoming bartender or bar professionals as well, right? And with that, we get a diverse narrative, right? We control that narrative. So we control that narrative, and we follow up with a residency. Last year we had a residency at a great speakeasy in DC called the Gibson. We had a 3-week residency where if you were a patron of the event, you would have saw the bartenders in action. You would have been able to see the gallery where we had them on display, and we also had an interview, a video interview where you can hear all these different perspectives coming from different people in our industry that come from different backgrounds. So those stories need to be sealed, right? We need to control those narratives so that future generations, when they look back on the legacy that we're building, they will know the truth, And the takeaway from that, the bartenders, bar professionals received great headshots, which would help them claim equity in this industry, right? A lot of times you go for interviews or you want to do brand work, they want a great headshot. A lot of people aren't privileged enough to have access to that, and we're giving that to our community, as well as just the whole communal and village aspect, right? So you've met other people of color in that setting that you might not have had opportunity to actually dialogue with and create a relationship with, but now we have mentors and mentees from that. And the goal of every Chocolate City's events or platform that we create is to create the essence of family, the essence of village. So it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop when we kick everybody out, right? It doesn't stop. There are bonds that are created that will help each other advance through the industry, but also just help each other personally, right? We all know the emotional labor that this industry puts or requires for people of color. So you have someone you can call up, right? You have someone you can network with. We don't believe in networking vertically. We network laterally, right? So we all come together. We aren't free or we aren't liberated, so all of us are liberated. So that's the gist of all of our events. We also have like captured cocktails. We have financial Fridays, but all these are intended to obtain equity in this industry. We created this. This is our shit. Fuck, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, sorry, no.
Go ahead, let it out. Hey, let it out.
No one said any curse words.
Hey, look, I know we said no cussing. We have
it's our shit.
Mike just took us to church real quick.
Yeah.
Let it out.
We're reclaiming what's ours. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're reclaiming it, and we want to get that bread. We want to get that money. We want to change people's lives. We want to. We want the legacy. We want that freedom.
Yes.
Talk that talk, Mike. That's what. Hey, that's look. The South Side came out of Mike real quick.
It did.
I saw it.
It's never gone nowhere.
It did.
It's only a few people from the South Side on here, so I know I felt it coming. I was like, I'm gonna just let them rock, man.
Yeah, man.
Like it's our day today.
Loyalty
Talk your
first.
talk.
It is our day.
Talk your talk, bro. We good.
For everybody watching, we tried to have a curse storm before everybody got on so that we could get
Yeah. I said, if anybody used to watch NBA on TNT when KG had the cuss button, I was trying to have a cuss button so I could just about everything. Because look, some of us is gonna cuss. This is what it is, man.
It is what it is.
Hey, sometimes you got to get your point across, and sometimes a cuss word really is gonna help that out. Hey, Mike, talk your talk, pimpin'.
Yeah.
I love it. I appreciate it. You know, I got both y'all back. Like anything y'all need from me, like say no more. I'm coming.
Love it.
Love it. All right, so look, so Mike answered like the next 8 questions I have for both of y'all. In there, like I had some more questions I was gonna hit y'all with. I've been working on my hosting thing. You know what I'm saying? So I have my little joints for y'all, but Mike answered them all in that statement. So we just gonna go right to the end. What y'all bringing to the Juneteenth party? I saw what you were making earlier on Facebook, Kapri. But what we bringing to the party if we all hanging? We were able to hang out together.
Personally, a bottle for laybacks.
Laybacks no more. No, I almost died the last time I did.
You wouldn't even know it's coming. No, I'm just playing. I would never do that. Consent is real. I would never do that. I would ask for it.
The party.
Oh, I'm bringing these hands, baby. I'm bringing
Hey,
these
look,
hands.
they too
You
much.
No, not those hands. Not those hands.
Oh my gosh.
No, sir. They
Not
too
those
much
hands.
all day
Get me on
long.
the grill. Get me on the grill, sir. You know,
Okay.
I'm
When
bringing
you come home, Mike, I got 2 grills out here, and I'm buying a 3rd one next week.
Okay.
Anytime you want to come get busy,
Hey,
you got
I'm
a
gonna
place.
bring a bunch of some lamb ribs, rack of lamb ribs, baby. You don't even
That's
know.
Thank
You
you.
don't even know.
Hey,
I'm
we gonna-
bro,
We gonna make that jerk. We gonna make that mud by hand, bro. We don't
let's
do
do it.
thing out here. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much for this, Josh. This is awesome. And like Mike said, it's all about equity. We are fighting for that. Everything that we're creating is about making sure that you are getting your piece of the pie and getting more of it if you can. We want to make sure that you are, that's what we want to do. That's our goal for Chocolate City's Best. And if you guys got, ideas, collaborations, hit us up. We want to do it.
Word. Love it. Super dope. Hey, thank y'all for, we went to church right quick. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. Y'all already know what it is between all 3 of us, man. It's nothing but love here. Cheers to all y'all. Thank you.
Cheers.
For being a part of this. This, man, y'all, I'm about to cry on camera, but I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But understand, we still got some more people on here. I know
we got this. It's going to be a good day.
Still got some more folks, man, like this. We're going to go to church a couple more times before the day is over with. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Chocolate City, from Chicago to DC, man, it's nothing but love. Anything y'all need, hit me. Anytime, day or night.
Thank you.
Cheers. Wow, all right, y'all. So look, we've been hanging out. I'm just letting y'all know, man, look, it's gonna get doper and doper as we move. You know what I mean? It's not gonna stop. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people we have coming up is actually more than 5, but the next 5 organizations we have coming up, we going to the South, and that's South with an F, S-O-U-F. We going to the South, and we're gonna hang out with some real heavy hitters. We're gonna start off in Atlanta, and we're gonna give my girls Keyatta and Tiffanie from A Sip of Paradise and Tiffanie, the drinking coach. Are y'all ready to pop in, ladies?
Oh, we stay ready.
Ooh, I already know that. Just you, me, and you.
You know how we do.
I know how y'all do it. I'm just saying. Look, I'm trying to do my hosting thing.
You're doing good, bro. You're doing real good.
Doing good. I'm out here.
You're flowing. And you're on time. And you're on time. And you know.
Hey,
you know.
Time is money.
Well, you know what it is?
Yeah.
So look, when I set the list, I was like, I got a feeling I know who's going to go overtime. because I know some people a little better than others. Tiffanie, Barriere. I know some people who go over
Sips watermelon cocktail.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, yo. So, yo, everybody
Raspberry cocktail.
that's enjoying, look, let me tell y'all something, man. These two ladies right here, I love, first of all, me and Tiff go back, like, what, 10, 12 years now?
I don't even count anymore.
Yeah, like, we go back, look, I had hair when I met Tiffany, and I ain't had no hair on my face, I had hair on my head, and now it's reversed since I met Tiffany, so it's a good thing.
I'm still bald.
You know what I'm saying? That's how long I've known Tiffanie Barriere. Keyatta became family because she's family with Tiff. And plus, Keyatta's one of the few people in the world that threatened me over text message and I backed down.
Listen, my
Don't
girl
do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't do that.
You know, keyboard.
I am sweet as pie. I am a lady.
Yes,
Don't you
are.
do that.
So, let's start off talking about A Sip of Paradise, how that came about, the background on that. Then let's talk about pitches and cocktails, and let's talk about the drinking coach, because you ladies are multifaceted. Y'all have a lot of different things going on all at the same time. So the floor is yours. I'm gonna get the hell out the way and let y'all have it. What y'all do.
Yo, so A Sip of Paradise is really the end game project of my competing for Bombay Sapphire's Most Imaginative Bartender. It was a competition that I did not want to do. I was kind of hoodwinked into doing it by a few people, but I'm really glad I took that journey, and it really changed my life. It was something that got me across the country. It got me national publication. It got me property. It got me sitting in circles I never would have sat in. Or I mean, I eventually would have sat in, but it fast-tracked everything, and it's a blessing. So, and all in all, A Sip of Paradise is a place for bartenders to have a safe place to garden. Just that simple. As a bartender, we're the bar's the hub of everything. Everybody meet at the bar, they congregate at the bar, you hear people's problems at the bar, your manager snaps at you at the bar, all the servers and shit be all the servers then be hanging out at service bar when they need to be at their tables. I mean, everybody's at the bar, and people unload on us all the time. There's no outlet for us. If a guest says something for you, depending on your restaurant, depending on what you say, you can get fired. You know what I mean? So there's nothing for us. This is something just for us. And I was very adamant that it would be a unique and quiet and safe place for us. And even through all the stuff we're going through right now, dealing with COVID, most of us are unemployed. I don't know about y'all, but in Atlanta, we're in the middle of a race war down here, like not showing everything that's real down here. I mean, we're all in this garden, just everybody got their headphones on, they're in their little bubble. It's their little place of peace, and then they go back home because we can't. Tiffany's a very intricate part of it because Tiffany is one of my best friends. She gives me advice when I want it or not, or not. But she is my chairman of the board, man. She has 2 plots in there. She's invested in me. She loves me. She ride with me. She fight for me. She'll cut for me. Like, we'll bury the bodies together. Like, we ride together. We're thick as thieves. And the beauty of our friendship and our relationship is that we're doing things, but we're together, but our platforms are totally different, that they complement each other, which is something I'm grateful for. Before I sing, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for having me on here. I know I fuss at you, Josh, but you know you my boo. I love you. You're my brother. If I didn't fuss with you and pick on you, you know, it wouldn't matter. And I'm just really grateful to meet people that I've seen and heard of and actually get a chance to put faces with, like Kapri and her entire team. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for reaching out. We definitely do some work together with you for sure. Anything you need, we got you. But yeah, it's a beautiful place and it's ours. I have that place as long as I have air in my lungs. That is the agreement I have with the people that gave me land. I've been offered, oh, my neighbor is bumping. I hear you, Patty. Okay. Anyway, I've been offered more properties of land. And this thing took off, especially since I didn't win. I actually placed. I didn't win. I was really going to take a whole year just to plan the whole thing out. But when I came home from Chicago, it took off. Like, people were giving me money, people were giving me tools, people were giving me soil, people were trying to buy plots, people were trying to come and help dig them. Like, it's taken off bigger than I could have imagined. And the plans that I have for it for next year are phenomenal. We are a licensed 501(c)(3). We I can't say the name, but a huge brand has offered to do something that's going to change the entire concept of what I'm trying to do, as well as help me expand financially. And that's more I can do is focus on speaking about it and getting more support. And I'll ask people to pay my team of people and pay myself, which is brilliant. But that's the Sip of Paradise. What you got going on, Tiffanie?
I love it.
What you doing over there?
Tiff, you know me and you, G.
Yes.
We go.
Man, you don't get emotional.
Tiff, I'll never forget the first time we met.
I'll never forget it, Josh. I will never forget it.
I may post that picture when we get done today, because I have it. That's
Do
your
it.
profile.
Do it.
Of you
I was so skinny back then, for one.
And jumping in my arms, because that was the first time we met in person.
I love this man.
Me
We
too.
had dreams of being Michelle and Barack at one point.
We was.
Michelle and Barack. We were gonna be like Mr. and Mrs.
Yep,
Cocktail Black World. We had these visions. We had the same momentum on education and presence, and drinking for one. So I remember just knowing I feel like an old person saying, like, before social media was the way it was, but we was texting and like, I got this idea. We had never met, and we had pretty much online dated.
Yeah, pretty much.
Online work dated, that is, y'all.
Yeah, work dated, y'all. Please.
Online work dated.
Because you know the comments gonna
I don't know how I get down. I love Josh, but Josh is not mine. His cup size ain't big enough for me. But
okay, so look, now that
anyway.
now that you take a left, let's come back.
I take a left. I like taking lefts. I like taking rights. Great for what I do. Barriere, no one can ever say it right. Just think Barriere, just throw a B on it. I come from the bayou of Lafayette, outside of Lafayette, Louisiana, and I was raised in Houston. This day means so much to me. My family has been celebrating this day for decades, and this is like Christmas Day. Actually, this morning felt like my birthday. People were texting me like, I've never expected that many texts for Juneteenth. We are in a current nasty climate, and to know that people have researched something that I knew my whole life, but now everybody's getting educated on it means so much. In the streets, and my business is called The Drinking Coach, and that's exactly what I do. I found it before I used to operate One Flew South. Those that know or don't know, I've opened and operated the bar program at One Flew South, which became the best airport bar in the world for 4 years. The world.
In the world.
South, not
the world.
America, the world.
The world.
The funny part of it is that airport bars were never looked at that way. So yeah, I'm proud of it, but actually, like, who's judging an airport bar? But I came through, we came through, I had a full team, and our full team was black. Our chef was black. Our sushi chef was black. The bar program was black.
Yeah.
We was black, y'all. We was black. We was black, y'all. And we were in Maynard Jackson's airport, which was a foresight for Maynard Jackson himself. And those that know anything about Maynard Jackson or don't, add that to something else to research. This man had a vision. I live in a city that is covered with black mayors and black business leaders. So making that vision come true was very exciting. And then I quit.
I remember.
After 7.5 years.
I remember that day too.
Girl, I had to go. Y'all know I had to go. I didn't know where else to go from there. Black excellence was taking a turn. And I'm like, I have all these resources and connections and education. and fans, and I don't mean to say fans like that, but just people who love to drink a quality, proper cocktail, but from these hands, these brown hands. So I dropped the mic and I walked off. And I walked off because I had a vision of better education for people of color, people of culture, and a real ass cocktail. Sorry, I cussed. I said ass. Is that really bad?
No, look, hey, Mike already broke the cuss button.
Okay, but yeah, Mike did do that. Thank you, Chocolate
Mike,
City.
cuss button. So look, don't go too far, but
Thank
you know.
you for that. Nah, I was starting to get interviewed left and right about, who I am and my bar program. And then they started hitting them questions like, what's it like to be Black? What's it like to be a female? And I was like, you don't like my drink? So I'm not a good bartender? Am I just Black and a girl? So I went down a rabbit hole, went ham, got some girls I know that are really close, some of the baddest women I know in Atlanta that are overly educated, professional, hospitable, and I put together a group, like a band, because I wanted to make sure that we were representing on that white tablecloth. I have nothing against the club scene. I have nothing against the nightlife, but I had never been there, so I don't use this word often, but I somewhat felt privileged because I work fine dining and I'm working with James Beard, and I was affiliated and I became the token Black girl. I'm not gonna front, I was a token Black girl, and I felt like the representation just wasn't enough, so I decided to just open the door a little bit and let some more folks in. But before you come in my door, I needed you to learn and be educated on the agriculture of the liquid and the history of the liquid, and more so the history of Black Americans in this country. It meant so much to me to sit here and talk about Prohibition cocktails pre and post and not talk about who was actually making these cocktails. Crushing me. It was crushing me.
Me too.
So I just kept my fists in the air. The drinking coaches live since then. Those that follow know if I post a cocktail, the history is there, but the history is my people. And it means so much to me because we are this country. As much as we want to call it ours, they stood on our shoulders. But I want them to really take a real nice magnifying glass and detail and comb through and give us our acres and give us our lands and our time.
All of it.
Type of preaching. That's what the drinking coach does. I'm affiliated with some badass foundations, nonprofit and profited. And I just make sure that we do talk about the bills and we got to get the dollars paid for the cases. But please do not forget to educate these spirited cocktails and the people that made them, meaning hire my people to make these cocktails because we are the best at service. Southern hospitality. I love you guys in the North and the Midwest. You killed it.
South, yo, with an F.
I love you.
I love you.
I gotta let y'all hold that. Look, I've never had a bad time in Atlanta. Y'all have always shown love. Y'all show my friends love when I've sent my friends to see y'all. Like whenever I know anybody's going to Atlanta, yo, holla Tiff, holla Toki, holla Key. So yeah, y'all got that. The hospitality, I'm taking a step back. Y'all won. There's nothing like y'all, you know what I'm saying? But with that, y'all are in what I consider Black Hollywood. Like I said, I've never had a bad night in Atlanta. I love the A. I love everything about Atlanta. I love the culture. I love the vibe. I love the energy. Like whether you in zone 4, zone 6, zone 1, like wherever you are.
Don't forget zone 3.
I ain't forget zone 3. It was coming, Keith. I'm just saying, you know. It was coming. And I was talking about the ones most people know because they know rappers say certain ones. So I was giving them the popular ones. But with that, what are some things y'all face and what are some things y'all have overcame, being beautiful, strong, smart, dope, talented Black women in the industry that you kind of have to put some shit to the side and say, yo, no, we're here, we're dope, we're present, and y'all can't with us. You know what I'm saying?
Key, you got that.
Damn it, I was just about to say, take it away, Tiff.
You got that. I got your back, though.
I think the biggest challenges that we have faced is the fact that people instinctively look at you and think you know less than you do because one, you're beautiful, two, you're Black, and three, you're a woman. And it blows my mind every single time because Tiffanie and I have both ran different programs on different levels. And the fact that they'll walk to the man and ask the man a question, and the same man will walk to you and ask you the question because they don't know. I'm petty. I enjoy being petty. It's
Me
just
too.
a twinge of pettiness that makes me smile on the inside and then walk over and answer the question like, oh, actually, sir, I got you. Also, I feel like something we need to definitely figure out is how to have these conversations about your worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something I'd strongly learned from a sister named Ashton Berry. I'm sure y'all know who she is.
If they don't, in a minute.
Oh, if they don't, they about to, because she about to tell them.
She's my Malcolm.
Stay ready. Oh yeah, you Martin and she Malcolm. We already know.
Hey, look,
That's
when she
Malcolm.
go off camera and she got the rest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might as well put the mic down.
Spoke with Ashton
She
Berry.
go ahead and put the mic
I love her so much.
for that bottle. But she was the one who looked me in the face and was like, I don't understand why they're scared to talk about money. They're not. You shouldn't be. Like, she really, and with her words, I was like, why am I scared? All they're gonna say is yes or no. You have to put your worth on the table. We are worthy. But enough of my soapbox. Take it away, Tiffanie.
Oh.
Yeah,
What was the question again? Hard times.
Overcoming.
You know what line really gets me in service, and Keyatta and I and a few of us on this have been in events together, is when you serve the cocktail, this question comes. Did you make that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You saw me make it. Like I made it. So that is we joke, and this is a candid safe space, even on Facebook and on this platform. Thanks Kapri, thanks Portland, and then Lush Life. We joke and say we the help. That's Keyatta and I's ongoing.
Oh yeah.
Joke. We the help. We here. We finna do this. We finna send it out. We done. And then sometimes you get reminded that they think you're just the help and you're not the intelligence and the power of the whole event. So that's my hardest part, is representing or feeling a need to not only represent my craft, but also carry my cute little tool bag of what else I represent. I no longer feel that way anymore because it's unnecessary, and we make it very clear. Yes, we're here. We created it. You see the picture. Google us, type thing, and we take it from there.
Absolutely. Yo, I love this talk with y'all, man. We could do this all. See, y'all about to make me curse now. Damn it, I've been trying not to. You know what I mean?
I only said ass. So
I've been trying to be the example all day and not curse.
I said, damn it.
First button up. But
Southern hospitality.
Hey, first of all, man, y'all already know. Tiff, you already know what it is with me and you. You know I love you. Your fam, your husband, kids, all that. I love everything y'all represent. So we're going to end y'all off with 2 questions. One, this one especially is for Tiff. What does whatever, you can say all you want, but this one's for you. What does Juneteenth mean to y'all in your own words? Yeah, I'm taking it there. Yes. Yep. Yeah, if you need to before you answer it. I knew that was coming. I knew she was going to do that watermelon in it real quick.
It's like my birthday, for real. Juneteenth means a celebration and an observance for some things that were kind of uncomfortable but present. So a chance to celebrate. As long as I've been celebrating this holiday my whole life, it was almost like a closeted celebration. Like only my own little private family reunion. So Juneteenth means celebration indeed. There's no need to change the verbiage. Jubilee all day, turn up. I don't know how much I feel about relaxing, because I love to talk and share stories and drink and eat, but they celebrate dance, music, drink, and just be proud of who I am. There's so many times we're at work and on the stage and on the email and all this other stuff, and we're representing something else. But today is the day. I grew up on the soil. This was actually observed. So this day it means a whole lot to me. Everyone that's brown, and yeah, I don't want to cry. Keyatta, go ahead.
Go ahead, because you about to make me cry, Tiff. I'm not on camera. I'm not doing it.
I'm very, very honest. So I am, for those who don't know, I'm from Liberia, Monrovia, and coming from a country that was one of 2 countries that were never enslaved, I didn't know anything about Juneteenth until I met Tiffanie, because the whole time she's like, "Oh, it's my favorite holiday. What's yours?" Well, mine is Thanksgiving because I'm greedy. I don't know. So I've learned so much from her and everything like that, but I almost felt cheated because, again, my history as an African woman is different than the history that's taught here. And I'm still learning those things, and then I'm sharing those things with my children. So for me, Juneteenth means sharing. It means sharing these stories, sharing our time, sharing our experiences. And for so long, I was so ashamed to say I didn't know anything about this because I'm a person of color, and how can I not know about this? But man, it's kids out here that don't even know the National Black Anthem, which sickens me to my core. That makes no sense to me that you don't know that song. I know that song, but I'm just grateful for the sharing people's time, space, food, drink, music, laughter, hugs, all of that stuff.
Word, love it. Well, Lexi started us off with the Black National Anthem. If you would like to do the second verse, you go ahead and jump in.
We gonna save y'all's eardrums because neither one of us can sing, so we not gonna do you like that. I'm not even a karaoke singer.
It is our.
I know all the words, yeah. But I ain't gonna do y'all like that.
If you wanted to, by all means, feel free to, throw it out there.
Listen, I ain't trying to bust nobody Campari bottles or glassware and nothing trying to sing no song up in here. We're not doing that.
I love that.
I respect y'all.
Before we get y'all, first of all, I could talk to y'all two all day long. Y'all already know our group text is lit, and we could do this all day long, but we got more dope to get to. So both of y'all let me know if we were able to be together today. This will be the perfect day for all us to come together and hang out at one of those really nice establishments in Atlanta that I like to frequent. If we were going to do that, what will y'all bring to the celebration?
Oh, I'm bringing a big pot of Jello fries. A big pot.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Tiff,
oh, yeah. Celebration food. We bringing that.
I got a couple things I'm bringing to the party because they're needed.
Bring your pork chops. Bring some pork chops.
I'm not bringing to this party, but I normally would bring a pork chop. I'm bringing some ice because no one's ever bringing enough ice, and I like a good ice.
True.
So I drinking hot liquor outside of the party. So I'm bringing good ice. I'm also bringing a stack of Uno cards.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Some dominoes.
Tiff.
And I'm bringing a hoodoo.
Tiff, hold up, Tiff. If you bring an Uno card, now
Josh, I will kick your ass.
Hold on. First of all, and secondly, I gotta see how you play, Tiff. Are we stacking or are we playing, like regular people?
My name is on the wall for the Uno champ. We stacking.
Oh.
I'm a champion in Uno. I'll take you there.
Don't make me book a flight to Atlanta, Tiff. I will come down there.
I hear there's a reduction in pricing.
Look, flights. I will come down there just to play Uno at your house, and plus, I got
bring it. Make sure your Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, all that stuff.
And bring the champagne. Bring the champagne.
Champagne is definitely coming. Say no more.
I love you, Josh.
In tow, yo. You know what I'm saying? But yo, look, I love y'all. Thank y'all for taking the time out your day. Celebrate today with me.
Love you.
Man, I love y'all so much.
We love you. Thank you for having us.
Yo, y'all already know. I done said to everybody else, but y'all already know anything y'all need from me, I'm a phone call away. And an hour and a half.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
All right. We're going to bring on some more dope people. Actually, we're going to bring on some people that Tiffanie introduced me to that told me how dope they were before I actually met them. So we're going to go straight to Tanika and Johnny. Are y'all ready? We need to see the copy
I love you, girls. I love everybody on this chat. I'm here. I love y'all. Love y'all.
Love you too. Love you.
Hey, what's up, ladies?
What's up?
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey. Hey. First of all, y'all are the two dopest sisters I know in Charleston. Y'all are actually, well, it helped. Y'all the only two sisters I know in Charleston.
I was about to say.
No, I'm just gonna say though, but look, if this is the measuring stick to meet people in Charleston, I don't want to meet nobody else.
Okay.
I'm good. Okay. I'm good right here. I don't need nobody else. You know what I mean? So,
we got talent in the South, though. We
y'all
got
do.
talent in the South.
Y'all got a lot of talent in the South, and I mean personally, like I told y'all when we spoke, I wanted to bring y'all on here because I really feel like y'all don't get the amount of love nationally y'all should get. I feel like y'all are super, super effing dope. See, I didn't curse. Y'all are super dope. Y'all are super talented. Y'all didn't release books. Y'all run South Carolina. Y'all do y'all thing. And I don't feel like enough people know how dope y'all are. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to, hey, I'm just saying, I want to use my platform to just say, hey, look, I appreciate what you all are doing. And I want y'all to tell the whole world or whoever's listening on Facebook, whatever, who the Cocktail Bandits are, where y'all from, and what y'all do.
Oh, wow. That was a great introduction, by the way, Josh.
Yes,
thank you for those kind words.
You know, I meant it.
In a promo package that we put out, we're going to have that.
Look, if y'all need me to record that and send it to you, don't worry.
But I'm Johnny Caldwell.
I'm Tanika Reeves, and we are the Cocktail Bandits, your curly ladies who talks cocktails every day.
That's right.
Drinks.
Every day. We have been sipping on Kapri products all afternoon. Getting ready for this celebration today.
Yes. This cocktail is called the Black or the Berry. It's made with freshly squeezed blackberries. It's a little bit of simple syrup. It is Espolon tequila. And then we added in some local lemon lime soda called Hooch. So,
hey,
happy Juneteenth.
Those are environment friendly straws, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, I had to ask because I'm just making sure. I just saw the commercial with the turtle with the I just
stay on point, and we love turtles, so for real.
So what we try to do is give a feminine urban perspective to the spirits industry. Try to talk about the Black female palate, about drinkways in the South, and just spread how we, people of color, have been a part of this drink thing since the very beginning.
And because we're in this beautiful city of Charleston, we like to rep the Holy City. That's why we wrote a book called Holy Spirits, Charleston's Culture Through Cocktails, where we let the world know about our drink cultures here in Charleston, history, present, and hopefully future.
Please for the book. Can you hand me the book, please, guys?
Yeah, promo. Put the book on the screen.
And this recipe is in the book as well.
Promo. Put it on the screen. We need to, because I have.
Okay, here it is. All right.
Yeah.
That's what you call Black excellence right here.
Love it, love it. I have my signed copy upstairs on my bookshelf right now.
Hey.
Thank you for supporting.
No, always. I will always support. I remember the first time we met was when we did Varsity down there. We did the social media class together. And that was super dope that was the first time we all met in person. And to kind of learn what y'all do, to implement that and what I do is super dope. Now, Charleston has a really, 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 really different kind of history with Black people. Charleston is a hub in a sense, you know what I'm saying? When it came to Black people a long time ago, how have y'all been able to bridge that history with what you guys do now? Because I'm very sure there's a lot of old ways of thinking in Charleston still. I didn't really get to see the city a lot. We were only there for about maybe 24 hours. So I didn't get to really explore the city with you guys. But I'm sure there's some old world way of thinking. How are you all able to, as two young, beautiful, smart, talented sisters, able to kind of bridge that gap and marry what y'all do and kind of get some of that old way of thinking out of there, you know what I mean, in Charleston?
Well, that was our main mission from day one, was to kind of show people what the new Charleston is, the kind of blending in Geechee culture, but showing that all Geechee people have elevated. Johnny is a Geechee Gullah descendant, and they're doing great positive things in the culture, in the industry, and we just wanted to make people know that, listen, we do like to drink, we like to have a good time, but we like to incorporate culture, we like to incorporate history, we like to incorporate reasons on why you should be drinking this, not just to party or be consumers, but actually educate yourself and learn why we drink this stuff and why we've been drinking for so long. The history is so deep in Charleston as far as making wines, making beers, making spirits, that we had to dig up just to write our book, that we're just so grateful that we are in this hub to be able to tell this information to people who don't even know it.
Like Jenique said, we were seeing Charleston getting like international attention on food. Like we were seeing shrimp and grits, all this gumbo, okra soup, all these things that are attached to our culture as African Americans. And we weren't seeing the chefs reflect that. We weren't seeing the restaurants reflect that. We weren't seeing the front of house people reflect that. So we're like, all right, we have to bring this to the forefront. Then when we examined the bars, it was the same problem in the bars. There were even less people of color and even less women in the bar space.
Yeah.
So as people who wanted to get more training in beverages, who wanted to learn how to craft, those bars were not hiring us. So we had no choice but to go onto social media, which was free, which was wide open, and for us to take our talents there and connect people virtually.
Yeah.
That's how we met Tiffanie before, how we met Alicia, who was
Ashton, that's how we met Kapri. I mean, that's how we really met a lot.
Luga.
Yes, a lot of the brown folks that are in the industry, because we didn't see them here. And they weren't on a level where they were making craft cocktails. They were in like bars where it was quantity over quality. It was rum and coke or gin and juice. You weren't really learning the elevated cocktail prep. So we wanted to be that.
Word. That's super dope. Yeah, I think that's how we met, right? Was it social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I was like, who is? I didn't even know what y'all looked like. Y'all were just posting pictures of drinks. Like, I had no idea what it was, but I really appreciate and just like what y'all were putting out there. That y'all were out like every day. Y'all were pushing, and it reminded me of the beginning of my career when I was just trying to get out there and just get people to see me, see what I was doing. Even though I didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time, I still wanted to just get people out there and just see what I'm doing. What do y'all have coming up next? Like, I know y'all had the book release. I know y'all are, like I said, y'all run the city out there. So, because I know who I'm calling whenever I pull up in Charleston. What do y'all have coming next for the city that you can give away right now?
Well, I want to talk about what we got going on right now.
Well, excuse me. Well, go ahead. Let me get off.
Meow. People always like, what's going on in the future? But we got stuff cracking that's happening right now that we need people to.
Well, my bad. Look, I'm going to get off the screen and let you do what you do. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Yep, I'm good. I'm over here.
Well, we are just continuing to educate. That's our biggest thing. Like, when you talked about our platform in the beginning when we posted cocktails, we were just learning. Like, I came out of law school. I didn't know how to make cocktails. I literally learned to make cocktails on our social media platform and just shared that process with our followers, making cocktails with local ingredients, trying to infuse our Gullah Geechee culture into our drinks by, using the palmetto rose, by using just ingredients you can only get here in Charleston, by using names that are significant to a Gullah Geechee culture, just trying to let people know that we were always out here on the plantations, growing the wheat, growing the grain, harvesting it, growing the sugar. I mean, the connection has always been there, but we didn't have the names and the faces to be recognized with that. So then we moved into putting our face in front of the camera, because little girls need to see people that look like them with curvy bodies and curly hair and brown melanated skin, who are out in bars and restaurants, who are traveling, who are enjoying expensive wines, exquisite cognacs. People need to see the visuals of that. Yes. Keeping that going. That's right.
Okay. I don't even want to say none of that. Damn, my bad. Johnny, what type of law did you practice? I didn't know that about you.
When I was in law school, I studied intellectual property and trademark law.
Damn, I thought it was prosecution, just in case I need representation at some point.
No, I did do a lot of oral advocacy, which has served me a lot in our business now when we do presentations and stuff like that. But it was always about ownership, about brands. That was always a big focus of mine. And our brand message is so clear. We did a lot of, plugging it in the beginning, putting Charleston inside there, putting cocktail culture, curly girls, Geechee, just everything. We just wanted to embody what we look like, women who we know, who want to go out and travel and go to wineries, who want to go out and go to Barbados and go to a rum distillery. Like, these are not crazy things, but the images aren't out there. And sometimes those spaces don't seem very inviting.
Right.
So we wanted to create a space. We wanted to encourage people who look like us to go out to take up space in those spaces and ask questions, not be afraid to be empowered when you go to the bar and ask for an old fashioned, because you know what that looks like, you know what that tastes like. And if the bartender gives something that's not good, you can say, hey, this is not what I'm used to. Remake this. I know what old fashioned tastes like. This isn't it.
Or I know what a reposado tequila is, because we'll ask a bartender for a reposado tequila and they'll give us a silver. Like, we don't know that it's not the same thing. And we're like, well, this is silver. We want a reposado. What's that? And they're like, oh no, that's reposado. I'm like, you don't even know what you're serving.
Right, exactly. So y'all big on the piece of everything, which is super dope. Actually, speaking of that, we all spoke about rum and Barbados. There's someone, I don't know if you know him personally, man, it's my big brother Ian, who is the rum everything in the world. If y'all don't know him, I would definitely love to connect you with him. I know he's watching on Facebook. Y'all need to meet that brother, because he can explore so many different aspects of different spirits with you guys. That I think he's been a resource for me. I'd definitely love to share him with y'all if he doesn't mind. You know what I'm saying?
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I got you. Oh, so we talked about Charleston, we talked about the past in Charleston. What does Juneteenth mean to you guys? Because with Charleston's past, it's a little heavier down there for you guys. You are in the South. The South's a little different, you know what I mean, everywhere else in the world. What does Juneteenth mean to you guys in your own words?
For me, Juneteenth really symbolizes freedom, and I try to live my life free. And sometimes people of color are not used to seeing a person of color live freely. And so I get a lot of conflict for the way I choose to live my life and the things that I choose to do. So I really take it serious about being free, being able to express your opinions, being able to live your life, enjoy it in any way that you want to enjoy it. Do what makes you happy if it's not hurting anyone else. And I think that Juneteenth is a reminder to me that as a Black girl, as resilient as our people are, they have done all the work for me to continue doing the work, but I also can live my life free as well. So that's what it means to me.
Dope.
And being here in Charleston and having experienced our own bouts with police brutality and just the Mother Emanuel massacre that took place, we definitely have, very sensitivity to these situations going on right now. And Juneteenth just really resonates with everyone here in Charleston.
Yeah.
So we just want to keep on expressing that message whenever we travel to other countries, other places in this country. We talk about Mother Emanuel. People don't know about it. I mean, people didn't know that happened and that 9 lives were lost in the church. So we talk about that, and then we also talk about how when we wanted to seek solace, we went to a bar afterwards. We went to a restaurant afterwards so that we could connect with people and have that social interaction. So there's healing in all of that, what we do. So there is no disconnect. It's all connected within our culture.
But even going to that bar, to piggyback off Johnny, there was no other people of color in the bar but us.
That's true.
And then when we tried to find any other watering hole to find people that looked like us just to get comfort, there was no space. And that's why we work so hard in our space to try to get more people to open up bars and restaurants and just watering holes for us to be able to hang out, spread our views out. We don't want to just sit at a church to express views. I might want to curse. I might want to be angry. I might want to really express myself. And there's still not space like that in Charleston. So there's a lot of work to be done.
And I think the anniversary of that was this week. Unfortunately, that unfortunate thing that happened. So
Wednesday was the anniversary.
It's those 9 families, man. And that's like, I gotta have one.
And we've been working on that fight. Like right after the massacre, we organized a march and a rally, a 2-day event to have conversations, to have discussions, to get speakers in. So we have been working on a local level for a long time behind this mission. So we're committed to having this conversation about diversity and inclusion in food and bev, and also being tools to solve the problem.
Right.
Word. Damn, man, y'all are dope, man. Look, again, y'all answering all the questions I was gonna ask. So, y'all, I can tell, I know everybody on this call has been media trained before, because I don't have to ask nothing. I can just let y'all I just ask one question, I let y'all do what y'all do after that. So I'm gonna just end it like we've been ending everybody with you guys. What we bring into the party, if we were all able to be together, what would be the thing to let us know the Cocktail Bandits was in the building?
Tequila, come on now.
Of course.
Tequila first and foremost. You gotta bring in the tequila libations. Then we gotta have some twerk music.
Nice. I love twerk music and tequila. I like that. Sounds really, really
Twerk music ain't. I'm a real geech to my core, so I'm gonna have to have a little crab boil at the situation. Gotta have the crabs with the corn, sausage, and the shrimp. You heard me? I said sausages
and the geechee ways.
Yes.
And potatoes, the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm bringing to the BBQ. That's what I want.
I can't wait outside to open up so I come back down there and hang out with y'all.
Come to the truck, please, for y'all to come to the truck.
Yeah, like I didn't really get to really kick it with y'all down there last time we were there. I can't wait to come back and really enjoy y'all city, see all the dope things y'all are doing all over the city. Like I said, y'all run Charleston to me. You know what I mean? I'm not calling nobody else when I pull up. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for your time. Thank y'all for coming on.
Thank you.
Y'all are so dope, man. I hope I just curse. I try not to, man, but y'all are just that dope that I had to
They know your heart.
It was that dope to me that I had to let one out. I just really appreciate everything y'all do. I appreciate everything y'all stand for, man. Y'all already know, like everybody else, just call me. Ain't nothing to
Love y'all. Love everybody on this thread. This is so awesome, and we're grateful to be a part of it, like always. Thank you for keeping us in the number.
Always. I got y'all back, man. Anywhere, anytime, all the time. Y'all gotta come to Chicago though.
That's happening.
We talked about it last time we were together about y'all coming to Chicago. Y'all gotta come to Chicago.
Hey, the country been closed.
We have plans, man.
The country been closed.
Look, I know it has. I'm just letting you know it's starting to open up slowly. Y'all pull up. I got y'all.
All right. Say less.
Say less. Exactly.
All right. Go. I got y'all, man. Y'all good. Y'all look. I done came up in the world. I bought a house. Y'all ain't got to get no whole
I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Moving up for a little bit. Hey, crash the crib and come hang out with us and get some of that Chicago flavor, man. Get with the whole Chicago team, Lisa and Alexis and everybody. And we all just build together for real.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hey, cheers to y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming on. Don't log all the way out because we're going to do something at the end. But I got to go to my friend who I just known last year. We staying in the South. We're going to go to Louisville. Prince, you in here? I hope you're in here. Uh-oh.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah?
I'm here.
What up?
Use Zoom. I don't know how to use Zoom. I'm sorry. I'm learning.
Hey, all right, look. It's all good. I didn't know how to use Zoom till quarantine, man. We good. What's going on, man?
I'm just returning emails. Always working.
Hey, that's what we doing. We always working. Look, I appreciate you coming on here, man. Like I told you in the text message when we talked, bro, you got a voice that needs to be heard. You represent a lot of different things on the spectrum here.
Thank you for giving us a platform to speak. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm going to let you just have it, man. Tell the folks what Boss is, man. I'm going to just let you do what Prince do.
Okay, cool. So Boss is a creative cooperative that I created here locally in Louisville. It stands for Black Organizing Strategic Success, and it's all about connecting Black creatives and minority businesses and entrepreneurs with the resources to kind of elevate their businesses here locally and then toward the world after that.
Word. Super dope, man. Look, you've been on the front lines, man. I've been seeing
I'm about to cuss too. I've been getting messed up.
Got broke, man. You let little. Okay,
yeah, they've been getting us together down here. They've been really blasting on that stuff.
I salute you, man. You've been on the front lines. You've been hustling, working hard.
Yeah.
Everybody's been supporting you, man. I've been watching you like, yo, stay safe and all
Shout
that.
out to Breonna Taylor. Say her name. I hit us really close to home, so I had no choice but to get out here. Like, I got mutual friends with this young lady, and we crossed paths, and you know, it's just hit really close to home, and it's time to change that. So
absolutely,
I had no choice to get out here.
What's the climate like down there? What's the climate like down there in Louisville right now?
Every time somebody asks me, I always tell them I don't even know. Like, it's happy today. Luckily, we in good spirits today. They just fired one of the officers involved. That's not enough, but I mean, it's a start. And it's so many Juneteenth things going on here locally. it just got me so geeked up, and I'm just so excited, and I'm just like, I just love all the blackness going on in the city right now. So even when it's crazy, you know, I'm one of them people. I'm trying not to cuss for the rules, but you know, F them buildings. I'm one of them people with the stuff. I'm with the mess. Okay, I'm with the mess.
Go. Hey, you know what? This is your time to talk your talk. You know what I mean? So look, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. Look, you represent a few different things in the Black community.
Yeah.
You represent the LGBTQA, you know what I'm saying? Our family represent Black. You do all that. What are some things that you face, man? Because I've been seeing on the internet like crazy, like all I've been seeing on the internet. And also, before I get started with it, man, what pronoun would you rather me use? Because I don't want disrespect.
I'm really not one of them that beat people up about the pronouns. I'm more so about the respect. So as long as you respect me, I'm gonna respect you back. So it don't really, whatever comes, I know the love is there. I met you in person and I've had talks with you, so I know the love is there. So I'm not.
Absolutely. I just don't never want disrespect. Nobody.
I ain't at that place yet. I ain't getting mad yet.
Hey, so on some real, you represent a lot of different things, man. So
yeah.
Like, what's
I'm just pretty, you know. I just like being pretty, you know. I ain't no jazz. We ain't cutting nothing off yet. I'm just pretty.
Anybody that's watching, y'all know this is Prince all damn day long.
I wish it wasn't. It's exhausting, y'all.
Well, the real, man, like you say a lot of different things, man. Like, you know, I've been seeing people on Twitter and in the news arguing Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter, Black, you know, all that different things. It's almost like things are getting divided. You know what I'm saying?
We kind of have to though.
True, and we do. But it's like we're fighting against each other when we're all really fighting for the same outcome. So I would love to hear your thoughts and all that. And I'm gonna get out the way because I can't speak on that. You know what I'm saying? That is totally for you. And I'm gonna just get out the way and just let you give all your thoughts on that.
Okay, cool. I just feel like in the Black community, there is so much kind of homophobia, transphobia, just phobia, period, that has been placed upon us from generational trauma. That is so much from the oppressor, so much from the effects of slavery and the effects of segregation. And you know what I'm saying? Just always demeaning anything that had to do with the Black culture. So we in turn have internalized that and have started to pick away at each other instead of uplifting each other and connecting together and kind of pushing forward to create new narratives. Then we don't have to do these stereotypes. So I just feel like we need to have these conversations. I feel like they're very valid. Like you said, I've been on the front line and I've had Black people kind of snicker when they see me, or, you know what I'm saying? Just, it's normal to them, you know what I'm saying? To kind of poke fun at the gay people or the trans people. But it's like, also like, I'm out here ready to catch a bullet for y'all's crazy asses. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gonna laugh at me? That's not okay. We gotta have this talk so you understand I'm out here doing shit bigger than that. Excuse me. Go ahead. So like, you know, how I present shit in affect what I'm out here trying to create and what I'm out here trying to change in the platforms I'm trying to give to people that look like us. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very valid that these people are correcting people when they say Black Lives Matter and telling them that if you're not including trans lives or gay lives, you're not really meaning the statement. You know what I mean? So I think that this is the time. We can't argue about these other people oppressing us if we really want to still oppress other people. You get what I'm saying? We have to do across the board. We have to be revolutionary across the board. And all throughout history, Black people have always been there. So I have no doubt in my mind that we will get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like when people meet me, they change their minds on people that are trans, are gay, because they see like, oh my God, Prince really is cool. Prince really is crazy. Prince really will bop you in the nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get a new respect, and I'm glad that I get to be that face that kind of turns their brains around and kind of like, you know, gets them to think about me in a human way and get to think about other people in a human way and not just in a joking way. So that's why I'm out here doing what I do, just to change the narrative for Black people, queer people, trans people, whatever category we fall in. Anybody oppressed, I'm out here fighting for you. Just know that.
Word, that's dope, King. Hey, look, like remember, like when we talk on text, I was like, yo, you educate me every time we talk, because I grew up in a little different era, so I've had to adjust my way of thinking. I'm a little older than you, so I've had to adjust my way of thinking. And you just Prince to me. I don't, you know, I got your back just like I would have anybody else.
I got yours. This wig ain't got no glue on it. I pop her right on. We out.
Absolutely, man. But with that, you know what I'm saying? I definitely want to say, as a responsibility of myself, as a straight male, and some of my brothers out there, what can we do to help protect you and to be there for you in a better way without making you like, quote unquote, like a charity case or like, or doing like how some white people do us, like, ooh, look, this is my black gay or my black trans. Like, what can I do to have your back and be your partner like I think I am? You know what I'm saying?
You do a great job. You talk to me authentically. You talk to me like a person. You ask me if I'm comfortable with things that are being said or being talked about around me. So I think that's just it, just being cautious of people and their needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be aware of people having different experiences or different feelings, and just be consistent, you know, really show up, really talk to people like they're people, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of guys need to release that energy that if they talk to me, that means somebody gonna think they want me, you know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, I don't want you.
Okay, no, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So so they just gotta release that fear of them. Like, you can talk to anybody and that don't mean you want them, but all of a sudden when you talk to me, you could scare people gonna think that makes you some way, you know? So we just gotta free that from the black males specifically, that toxic masculinity, you know what I mean? Like, if you are comfortable in yourself, can't nobody else tell you nothing. And I'm the prime example of that.
Absolutely. Man, bro, that's right there. That's, hey, you said a mouthful right there. This sounds like us talking on the phone, man.
Yeah.
Man. So with that, man, being down there in the industry, man, Louisville to me, and I might be wrong, you're a Louisville resident, you can tell me better. To me, it's kind of like the gateway to the South. You know what I mean? Like, you experience a little bit of, you know, the racism and things like that. It's not as deep as like if you go to Lexington or you continue south. What are some things you faced in Louisville and some things that how you overcame some advice you can give that next bartender that necessarily could be straight, could be gay, could be trans, whatever, that helped you make it through to get to the point where you are right now?
I definitely feel like I faced several obstacles at once, like you said, with the black and the trans. So sometimes I never know what the issue is, you know what I mean? But I just feel like being true to yourself is always my message. And if you know that you are delivering and you are talented and you are gifted at whatever you're trying to bring to the table, don't let nobody shift that way from you.
Yeah.
It's like surfing, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you lose your balance on that surfboard, you're going in the water. You got to stay strong in your stance. So that's what I would tell somebody. Just stay strong in your stance and learn. You got to fall a couple of times to get your balance. So learn as much as you can. Listen to people when they're talking to you. Listen to how they're talking to you. So
absolutely. I love that. What does Juneteenth mean to you, man?
Juneteenth is everything to me. I'm kind of like some of the people previously, like, I never not known about Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always known about Juneteenth. So like getting older and seeing, especially people of color who don't know about it, I've always been like, what? Y'all don't know? Like, I'm from Atlanta though. So like I kind of just, you know, we was always Afrocentric stuff in my house. So we just always knew. I just think it means a beautiful day for us to kind of, like you said, reflect on where we've been, but also reflect on where else we need to go. Like, it's crazy that, like you said, my grandpa marched with Dr. King and stuff, and I'm just now 30 years old and I'm still doing the same stuff he was doing. My grandpa's almost 100, and that's outrageous to me that we even in this same conversation and there's no changes in sight. You know what I'm saying? So it's just time, and I think we're in the best position because we're the first generation, and we're not the first generation to revolt or to uprise against the system, but we're the first ones that can document ourselves. We're the first ones that can create our own narratives and combat their narratives trying to make us out to be the bad guys. So I think that's so phenomenal that we really get to tell our own stories, and especially me on the front line. Like, I've been exposing these cops for stealing our supplies and gassing us for no reason, and they don't want peace. And I want people to understand that who might not be on the front line and might not know. They don't want peace. They don't want us to be peaceful. So if you see protesters acting well, of course there are bad apples in every bunch, but I'm saying for the most part, protesters ain't out there doing nothing to warrant this behavior. So if you do get to uprising and acting crazy, it's because we've been attacked to the point where all we can do is try to fight back, and we're outnumbered and we're outmanned and we're out, you know what I'm saying? They got better tools and resources than us. So what else we gonna do but burn them buildings down? Like, fuck it. I mean, excuse me.
Look,
mess those buildings up. Mess those buildings up.
Hey, look, the cuss button got broke like 4 years.
I don't know if my mama gonna watch this though. I'm sorry, mama.
Yo, so what we see, what we doing with Boss in the future? When things get to normalcy, you know, it'll never be the same, but
I don't think it'll never be the same either, honestly. But that's why tonight we're doing our first digital event, the Fresh Fix. It's a Juneteenth celebration of beauty, bravery, and blackness. So we got some of the biggest heavy hitters here locally, like some of the biggest activists and some of the biggest artists. They all came through for me. And I think even that speaks volumes to like being a Black queer creative, that these people who are cisgendered and on the scene will be seen with me and respect me and believe in my voice and what I'm creating. And we really created something, I think, that's beyond dope. I can't wait for y'all to see it tonight at 8 p.m. I'm gonna drop the link.
What we doing? IG Live?
So my Boss website will be officially live, and I'm gonna drop the link to the Boss website at 8 p.m. I don't want y'all to see it early because we still like making little tweaks on it right now.
Hey, look, you drop it, send it to me. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna definitely tune in. I want everybody to tune in. I got a donation coming for you too. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you know what I mean? That's my word.
We love that. We love to hear that.
Hey, man. Support, you know what I mean? I just want to support other people that's out here. We all are for the same purpose and goal at the end of the day.
Yes.
No matter how we get there, we all trying to get there. So I'm always going to be trying to look out. You know what I mean? Help everybody
I appreciate you so much for that. You've always had my back since we met. They tell me go talk to you. I just marched right up to you like, hey, they tell me meet you.
So did walk right up and hug me. I was like, hey, what up? You know what I mean? We good. It's all love.
I ain't scared.
Right. We Gucci. What's up? Let's get it.
Exactly.
Let's drink some of this Uncle Nearest. I know they're not sponsoring today.
I ain't want to say what I had either because I got me a little something to it. And I'm sorry, but Campari's good though.
Right. Shout out to Campari, you know what I'm saying? But we were drinking a little Uncle
Campari's good though, but I'm from the hood, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But we had a good convo, man. Look, yo, bro, you opened my eyes to a lot of shit.
Thank you.
Maybe things differently. I appreciate you for that. You know what I mean? More than you know.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
because now I can share that along with my sons, so they don't have some of the prejudices and some of the things that I grew up with. Mm-hmm. They won't have it. You know what I mean? Because
that's my goal. That means
somebody like you, a couple of my other homies out here that have opened my eyes to different things over the years. I thank you and I appreciate you for educating me. You know what I mean? In a different way. All right? For real. Hey, so what you bringing to the Juneteenth party?
So I'm gonna bring the Flamin' Hot Cheetos and the line dances. I'm bringing all that. We're gonna wobble, baby.
You gotta come to Chicago, man, because we're gonna get you the Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Okay, I forgot you was from Chicago. I ain't bringing all that there. Y'all be trying to have an asthma attack. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta make sure I got my inhaler and everything with y'all. Y'all be doing too much.
Look. You go to the corner store of Chicago, man. You get the Flamin' Hot or the Doritos. You get some cheese. Take that joint up, man.
You with me. You with me.
I'm with you. I got you. Hey, I'm with you, man. Actually, it's funny. I was in Louisville. We went to this spot on like 24th Street. It was like a little shack next to a gas. Had some of the best.
Yeah. Legends.
Hey, I went there like 4 in the morning last time I was in Louisville.
The hood wings, they the best wings. The hood wings, that's the good wings. Yes. Well, we actually just, not to bring it back to no sadness, but we lost David McAtee right at that spot you speaking of, the barbecue man. So say his name as well. Like, we got to hold these cops accountable, and I ain't going down without a fight, baby.
Absolutely.
Get these buildings up. Power to the people. All right?
I love it. Hey, look, we got to move on. I love you.
I love you. Cheers to you. Thank you for putting this beautiful thing on. I love all these beautiful Black people. I ain't met most of y'all, but I want to.
Tell everybody where to catch you tonight on your launch one more time so everybody knows.
Tonight we're doing bossworld.net at 8 p.m. Don't be getting on there early trying to sneak no peek either. 8 p.m.
Wait, that 8 p.m. Central?
Whatever. What's Louisville on? The regular time in Louisville. All the rest of y'all's times messed up. The regular time in Louisville. Yes.
Okay, so 8.
What is that? Standard time.
Right, I'm on. All right, we're going to be there. I love you, man. Thank you.
Love y'all. God bless y'all. Happy Juneteenth.
Don't log off yet, man.
Okay.
All right? So, yo, we moving to the next. Yo, Samara, are you here?
I am here and I'm ready.
You ready?
Yes.
I saw you chat. I ain't gonna tell everybody what you said you had to go do, but I saw your chat.
No, I'll say Prince is amazing. It made me go get my whole life together. I had to go draw my eyebrows in. There is no way I was coming in after Prince looking a hot mess. Oh no.
You see Prince out killing the game out here.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron. I had to step my game up real quick.
How are you, love? How are you doing today?
Good. Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth to you. I know you're not, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna cheers. I know you, yeah.
Wait, let me cover the brand.
Yeah, cover that. That is a Campari coconut water. That's what we're gonna call that today. You know what I mean?
I did bring this for my Campari friends, though.
Hey!
My Jimmy Russell signed rare breed that I got when I went to Wild Turkey would run them up. So
word, good stuff. That's good stuff. I need to get another bottle of that actually while I'm thinking about it. So tell us about Black Bourbon Society. I love it, but I know a million people know about it, but for anybody who's been living under a rock for the last 4 or 5 years that don't know, explain to everybody what Black Bourbon Society is and what it does.
Well, Black Bourbon Society is an organization I started about 4 years ago when I realized that there weren't a lot of direct consumer marketing dollars being spent on consumers who look like me. And when I was living in the Bay Area at the time in California, and I was producing these events with a brand out there, and I asked this woman, I said, the woman I was working with, I was like, who are these amazing events that I'm helping to plan for? And she handed me her marketing deck, and really the truth was I didn't see anything directed towards the African-American consumer outside of the urban demographic. And that's cool. It's cool that we are in the urban demographic, but as you all know, urban demographic typically skews younger. It's more hipper, more cooler, more hip hop, shut the club down. That's kind of more of the stereotype that falls in line with the urban demographic. Excuse me. And that's not me. I'm a little bit older than most of y'all. I'm almost 40 this year.
But you said you're almost 40?
I'll be 40 in October.
Oh,
but anyways, when I started this, I was, mid-30s. I had 2 small children. I was married, and I still like to go to nice events, but I didn't want to shut the club down. Like, I wanted to be home by 11 o'clock. So I created Black Bourbon Society with the intention to start essentially a niche demographic of much older, sophisticated African Americans between the ages of 35 all the way now up to 65, have high discretionary income, extremely conscious consumers who love whiskey, who love bourbon, and who want to learn more about it, and who really wanted to have this genuine engagement with the brands. And so that's what Black Bourbon Society does. We are the bridge between the brands and the consumer, and we create fabulous events all across the country. We take our members to Louisville to have these behind the scenes exclusive tours. We go to New Orleans for our annual conference, which is Bourbon Boulay. And the whole time, we just kind of keep everyone engaged with our virtual programming online. And we've got over 17,000 members now, all dedicated and, super invested in Black Bourbon Society and in whiskey. So we have created a new demographic.
Word, super dope. I love it. I've been a member in Black Bourbon Society since the early days. I love the movement. I love what you're doing. But to ask you that, so being Black and loving bourbon and being in the South, and we know when bourbon was created, it's quote unquote American spirit. And we know who was making the bourbon, and it wasn't necessarily employment to make the bourbon. How did you navigate that? Because I'm very sure with some of the brands, and I'm not going to name anybody or call anybody out, but I'm very sure there's a lot of old world thinking with some of the brands. How were you able to kind of bridge that to get brands to work with you to understand the new demographic and how valuable this new demographic is for them?
It really wasn't that difficult. When I went to the industry and I said, hey, I, started a bourbon society, we have members who love your stuff, and they're all Black, they were like, really? We didn't know they liked our product. And so I say that to say that, yes, the brands probably knew African Americans were buying their whiskey and their products, but they didn't know how to what we found in working with several brands is that they didn't know how to engage with us in a genuine way. They didn't want to come off in stereotypes. So they didn't try, and they didn't do it. And so when we came on the scene, they were like, yes, we absolutely are interested. We just don't know how. Can you help us? And so there hasn't been a lot of pushback for Black Bourbon Society. And we definitely, especially now in the past few weeks with everyone coming out with Black Lives, well, not, everyone in, the corporate world and these companies starting to come out with Black Lives Matter statements. We even found them being very intimidated with acknowledging that, until I wrote them a lovely open letter and made them, and put their money where their mouth was. So, so you do have the brands that, again, they admit, we don't have all the answers. We don't know. We've never taken the time to learn this. Please forgive our ignorance, but we are game, and we need to know, we need to invest. We know this is important to our consumers.
Dope. Speaking of that, I saw a really big announcement like last week with you. You want to share with everybody that might not have seen it yet?
So, the past 4 years for Black Bourbon Society, we were really the bridge between the brands and the consumer, really helping the brands to understand diversity and inclusion and the need to have that within their marketing strategies. But the truth is, the reason why they struggle having issues with marketing to consumers of color is because there's no one internally that looks like us either. And so we did, after several conversations, we started a nonprofit at the beginning of this year called Diversity Distilled. And Diversity Distilled not only looks at the whiskey industry, but at the spirits industry as a whole, and really challenges the brand. Let's look internally. Let's look at your corporate structure, and let's fix the D&I issues internally. You and I and everyone on this call, we know who the brand reps of color are, and we all know they kind of sit at the lower tier of where these organizations and how these organizations are run. But once they, but after that, there's not that much leverage for them to get out of those buckets that they're put in. Some organizations have multicultural divisions, but after you get out of multicultural, there's no place for them to climb into corporate positions or into positions of leadership. And that's inclusion. That's the problem. So it's not just good to have a workforce or a Black workforce that directly, interacts with Black consumers, but it's also important that we have African-American employees for these companies that are sitting at the boardroom, that are making marketing strategies, that are in HR departments recruiting other Black talent, that are sitting in the legal team, that are reviewing advertising ads before they get blasted on social media and then get dragged on Black Twitter. So that's what Diversity Distilled really looks at. We've got to look internally and help them figure out a strategy to be more diverse and inclusive.
Dope. That's dope. I was cursing again, but that's just so dope. I can't do nothing but curse about it. Yo, that's great. With that, so we've been quarantined for a while, and I know, everybody on this call has been doing a lot of things virtually. I know you have as well. We all have doing. Where do you see the industry going, like with the virtual kind of thing that we're going right now? Where do you see Black Bourbon Society going forward with that?
Well, Black Bourbon Society has had to completely switch its model and how we function. So we've gone into a virtual platform. We're providing, we've got all sorts of virtual content, including our BYOB happy hour, which happens every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. But we also have our Whiskey Weekly interview where we do, basically it's like a talk show that we interview master distillers, brand ambassadors. Again, it's this intimate conversation that we're having with brands, brand owners, master distillers, brand ambassadors, and our audience. So they're still getting that direct engagement. We branch out and we do a lot of mixology because we know that with our members, not all of our members are well versed on what bourbon is or how to even drink it. So the best way to drink it is in a cocktail. So we provide constant and continuous virtual programming. And once the world opens up, we'll have to continue that. Same with the brands, and the brands know that. Pretty much all of on-premise is dead for the industry. Mm-hmm. And the only way the brands are really meeting with new consumers is in a virtual space and through societies like Bourbon Society. and other platforms on Instagram like yours, Brown and Balance, Causing a Stir. They're using all of our platforms to get in front of as many consumers as they possibly can. That won't go away either. Just because they're realizing that they don't have to do things city by city anymore. Now they can actually produce content for all 17,000 of our members at one time and put it on YouTube, and it lasts all into perpetuity. So
right, absolutely dope. Well, so what's next? What do you have planned next that you can share for Black Bourbon Society?
Right now, Black Bourbon Society is gearing up into an 8-week stretch of whiskey weeklies that solely focus on distilleries in the Louisville area that lead into our virtual Kentucky Derby celebration. So we'll do that all online through Zoom. And so we'll have to get everyone, again, involved in that, but it'll be our live simulcast that's going to be sponsored with Louisville Tourism and Woodford Reserve. More recently, tomorrow we'll be taking over liquor.com. So we'll be throwing in lots of content, cocktails, education opportunities, just some fun stuff. So yeah, so we're busy. And, you know, again, we're holding the brands accountable at this point with Diversity Distilled. So we wrote that open letter. A lot of brands did speak up and make statements and pledge money and pledge to work with organizations, but talk is cheap.
Yeah.
Now it's time to actually do the work. And so I plan for, you know, the rest of 2020, really being in some, you know, closed door discussions with these brands, helping them to come up with ways to be more diverse and inclusive and head into some real strategies leading into 2021.
Super dope. Again, you along with everybody else, I can tell y'all all have been media trained because you answer the questions I want to ask you before I even have to ask it. So thank you for all of that. So I'm gonna just go like this. What are you bringing to the Juneteenth celebration? So we know that Black Bourbon Society was there. What would that be? What would that item be?
So I'm from LA, and we are known for some killer, and you can use that word either way. We're known for some killer backyard barbecues. So I'm bringing Domino's, and I'm bringing hot links.
Hey,
and I'll bring my wild turkey for my cousins who know what it is, but for my cousins who don't, I'm bringing whiskey in a purple bag.
Hey, that we don't gotta say who they are, but we all know what it's purple bag.
I never mentioned that brand, but for those cousins, I'm bringing it.
Yeah. This purple bag scattered all over my house with random things in it, so I totally get that. But we're gonna bring the wild turkey for everybody. You know what I mean? So yo, Samara, thank you. I appreciate you. Get that Kapri coconut water out. You know what I mean? One more time, so we can do that. You know what I mean? Cheers to you. Cheers to BBS. You already know. Hey, hopefully tomorrow we all can connect. When you do your takeover, let me know when you need me, and I'm there, and we can make that happen.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for the opportunity to share my story and for your support. Love you guys.
Thank you. Always. No problem. Cheers. All right, y'all. We get near the end. You know, I know we've been on this for a couple of hours. It's been a lot of fun. I really could stay on this all day. We got a very, very special guest. You know, everybody here is dope, but sometimes they say you save the best for last, and it's not the best as in she's better than everybody else, but she is dope in her own right. My little sister, the person who makes me sound a lot smarter than I normally am on everything. Ashton Berry, you in the building?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, mama? How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
No, we you know, last but not least, save the best for last, all that other good stuff that you always supposed to say. You know, I had to bring you in at the end because, you know, if anybody has not experienced Ashton, like, she is one of the dopest people. Forget the industry, just one of the dopest people in the world that I know. You know what I'm saying? We've known each other since the beginning of both our careers.
Trying to get this lighting right.
You good?
Yeah, the sun shifted.
We've known each other, like I said, since the beginning. Like we've kind of grown together in ways. We've done stuff together. Like, it's just like, you just amazing, and I appreciate you taking some.
I love you. I love you, bro. You know.
I love you, sister.
When I was a young whippersnapper, I had tack, and I was out in these streets just ready to get everybody to smoke.
We was at Pop's Champagne, the drum bar back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Hanging out together, you know what I mean? So, yo, we've done it all together. A few years ago, we did a really big thing together with some people we don't have to name right now. That's when we really started working together and started moving toward the things we're doing now. So tell the people about Radical Xchange, and then tell the people about Resist and Serve after that don't know.
Yeah, so Radical Xchange, it's kind of, we're actually in this place of kind of transforming and growing, but we are a content agency, and so we kind of have two sides. We're starting a foundation side to it, but Radical Xchange is basically creates contents from a marginalized perspective, meaning that like we take marginalized identities and we help create. I don't like that wording. Well, we take a look at how we can create events for marginalized people or for other people in just an intersectional way. You know, how can we've consulted on a lot of people who, you know, people don't know this, but we've consulted on a lot of different conferences. If you've seen some changes because they've called us, we've said, all right, here's another way that you could go about that. Here's another way you can create that, things of that nature. So we do that on the kind of the private back of the house kind of side. And we also do that with events. Last year we had events with La Cocina. We also had an event with Sephora. So we do that kind of on the private side, on the back of the house with clients. And then on the front facing side, we have a conference called Resist and Serve that just had its second iteration this year. It started off as a little baby conference, and it's still a baby conference, but we're growing. And Resist and Serve is about acknowledging the contributions of Black people to hospitality. And really it's about all of hospitality, not just the bartending community. So we talk about food systems and agriculture. We talk about chefs and line cooks. And we also talk about the range of hospitality in terms of the class configuration. So I think a lot of times we'll talk about the industry and we'll talk about this top 10% and we kind of forget about everybody else, but we'd like to talk about every iteration and level of it.
Word. So what was the brainchild when how did you come about to create Resist and Serve? Like what was the spark that did that for you?
I was tired of these conferences that had the same 5 white men plus one white woman, and maybe they would sprinkle in a couple of people of color, having the same conversations over and over. And I also felt like we needed a space where we could be fully us in a healing way, where we could be fully in our Blackness without the voyeurism of people saying, you know, policing what was appropriate and what's not. I mean, there's a reason why we don't stream Resist and Serve, right? We let folks truly be in them, in community and be themselves, and it's beautiful and it's healing. A lot of Black people for the first time get to say their feelings about the industry without pause and without concern about what may happen.
Mm-hmm. Now I know you living in NOLA. You went from Chicago to New York to NOLA. You've been all over the place. Was NOLA like the perfect place for you to do Resist and Serve, or did you have any other locations across the country that you were thinking about?
I did think about other locations. I thought about Chicago. I had thought about possibly doing this in Birmingham, Alabama. I had thought about Oakland, but there's something about the energy of New Orleans that I felt like it needed to be here. And I also am really committed to making sure that Black people come to the South, spend time in the South, and form a relationship with the South. I do think that spaces definitely contextualize how we look at the world. And I think New Orleans has a synergy and an energy about it that all Black people kind of need to come to.
Absolutely. I love the energy in NOLA. Like, I've never had a bad time in NOLA. It's one of the best cities in the world. With that though, you're well traveled. Like you, like me, you've been all over the place. I haven't lived in as many places, but we travel all the time. So throughout the country and in the markets, I know I asked you this in the PDF, but what's some things you would like to see, you know, post-COVID, you know, when we kind of get back to whatever this new normal is going to be, kind of change for Black and brown people in the industry? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think always what I'm gonna say is that, like, I think Black people and brown people need to stop waiting for permission. Yep. You know, I think that if we are waiting for permission from people to say that they are going to be excited or that they are going to fully support everything that we do without education, then we're going to be waiting for a long time, right? And as someone who also does education and consulting and equity work, like I understand that that's part of the work, but I would say, you know, what I hope and what I see for the future is that like Black people experiment, Black people, you know, try new things. Don't worry about what people are going to think about it. Worry less about what people are going to think about it, and worry more about what your vision is and what you want to manifest. That is my hope. I hope I see more people manifesting and doing the work to make the things that are in their head or the things that they've talked about come to fruition, regardless of whether people can see it, understand it, can get it, like it. You know, brands didn't understand Radical Xchange. They definitely didn't understand Resist and Serve. But it wasn't about them understanding it, right? It was about, I knew what I wanted to provide for our people, and I knew that they were going to get it. And it was their job to just kind of ride or choose not to, and that's fine. I was still going to get it done. Absolutely.
What do you see Radical Xchange and Resist Serve going? Are we moving to like multi-city? Are we?
So it's so Resist and Serve will probably be the flagship, and we probably won't reproduce that just because of the energy it takes, honestly, and also just because there's something really special that it requires that I don't know that you could just pick it up. I think you would be diluting what makes it. But actually, we were supposed to be having our first event in the UK later this year, and that's not. Yeah, so you know, we'll wait to see what kind of happens with the world with COVID, but we have already started plans to have events in the UK, in the Caribbean, and also, which I'm supposed to be in Jamaica in October, hopefully, still kind of mapping out what that could look like. And then hopefully eventually on the continent.
Wow, that's super dope, man. So was this the vision you had in the beginning? Like, was it like when I started Brown and Balance, I just wanted to do something to kind of just bring light to people that look like us, and it's grown into something more, and I adjusted my vision since then. Was this the initial that you had, or was it something different and it's morphed into something new?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, the initial plan was that we always knew that we were going to grow into something that was going to have a global presence. I definitely think that it is happening quicker than I thought it would happen, if I'm being honest. I did not think that, like, you know, we would come out of Resist and Serve the second year and be getting phone calls about like, how can we make this happen in other places? And so I was like, kind of like, oh, whoa, all right. I thought maybe we would get there year 4 or 5. I didn't think that year 3 we were talking about like expanding it. And so, and then I think it has morphed a little bit because Resist and Serve, what I saw was, one, this place for Black joy, but what I didn't realize it was going to end up being was also a training ground for people to build skills, which is something that we heard a lot from people the second year was that, hey, I love this. I love the way that Zan and Sly did this rum tasting. I learned a lot. I love that you incorporated us going to a museum. I learned a lot. And so with that, we kind of said, okay, well, let's really pull in. We have a board that we formed that we'll be announcing soon, a Resist and Serve board. And we said, we had already been going back and forth about becoming a foundation, but before we launched the foundation, I needed to really know, why are we starting this foundation? We're not just gonna do it because that's something that we see other people have done, or we see that other conferences are foundation format. We need to really take a moment and ask, why does this work for us? And what will this mean for the company? And so in those ways, it's kind of transformed and changed.
Word. Oh, wow, I didn't even know all that. That's super dope. I know we've both been really busy, so we haven't had a chance to really chop it up. And I hear all
Yeah, we've got some pretty crazy stuff coming. We got Gimme Brown on the 30th, which is going to be like featuring people from all over. We've got someone from Jamaica. We've got someone from Shanghai. It's going to have Black voices, but it's also going to have Latin voices. It's going to have from Asian community to really, because I'm also really interested in how do we form solidarity with other communities of color. And I think that's really, really important, especially for combating anti-Blackness. And so that's going to be a celebration. And then at that celebration, we're going to be actually telling everybody about 2 initiatives that are going to be financially supporting Black people in the hospitality industry.
So tell the folks where they can catch Gimme Brown. I was gonna ask you that, but again.
Yeah, you can, if you go to our website or if you go to Radical Xchange Instagram, the link is right in the profile. It is a free event. I encourage everybody to register. Yes, it is for everyone. The centering on Black voices and Black bodies does not make it inherently exclusionary. And we need to always ask ourselves why we think that to be true. And it probably is because white spaces generally, when they are all white spaces, tend to be exclusionary. So we need to just make sure we question that when we look at that. Yes, it's for everybody. It's register free. I'm on Instagram as @thecollectress. It's been in my stories. The link is also in my bio. It's a free event. We're gonna have raffles. We got DJs. We've got a special guest that's gonna be really dope. We're gonna be making a lot of announcements next week. Everybody had their Juneteenth stuff, so we were kind of like, let's chill with announcing stuff. Let's let people have their Juneteenth. Then we'll come out swinging on Monday, like kind of like this is what we got. But it's going to be a really exciting, it's going to be joyful, and it also give people a peek in just the kind of how we approach presenting content, which yeah, I'm very excited about.
That's super dope, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna register today, make sure I'm there, you know what I mean? Because I have missed the last 2 weeks to serve due to family things, but I ain't gonna miss the next. Hey, you know, I called you and told you.
You called me. It's all love. It's all love.
Somebody died, ass. That's the only reason I ain't coming, you know what I'm saying? But I will be at the next one. So if somebody in my family chooses to go, I'm gonna see them when I get back because I gotta support my.
No, it's not even like that. No, we're gonna continue to do virtual. You know, Samara said what Samara said was like right on point, which is that like we had already been playing and toying with the idea of doing Gimme Brown, and we were looking at doing it in the fall as a virtual offering for all of the global people who have been reaching out and saying that they wanted to engage with us. And we just chose to really move it up in the schedule and use this opportunity. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but use this opportunity to kind of play with it, get it out there and kind of tweak it, because in the past, the virtual thing hasn't been our idea. But I'm really excited where Radical Xchange is going. Actually, you know, before this call, I had a call because our logo is getting revamped. Our website is getting revamped. We have an app that's being built. So like, you know, I've been using this time to do all of the things, the whole checklist that I've had, but I'm generally running around and I don't get to knock that many things off of. I really use these months to kind of say, all right, let's reground and let's really show up so that we enter into the rest of this year in 2021. In this way that really just shows people all of our offerings.
I love it. That's super dope, man. Like the one thing I love about you since I've known you, you're like one of the people you research before you speak. And there's a lot of people in the world that speak before they know just what the hell they talking about. But you're one of those people that you always make sure you have all your ducks in a row, I's is dotted, T's is crossed. So with that, and you know the historical, you know what I'm saying, effect of what Juneteenth was and everything that happened. In your words, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Oh, Juneteenth is not only about Black joy and Black liberation, but it is about Black self-care, right? And I think like I want to say that because Juneteenth is about revolutionary practices. And so if we're talking about revolutionary practices and we're talking about the freedom of our ancestors, then we are also talking about the ability for people to have their autonomy of their bodies. And we should really just looking at the ways that we are caring for ourselves, the way that we are loving ourselves. Joy is also, you know, resting. That is also a form of enacting joy in our lives as Black people who are consistently weathered by the climate in this country and in our industry. Yeah, that's what Juneteenth means to me. And it's a reflection. It's a time to stop and pause and not only think about where we want to be in the world, but also to think of the contributions of our ancestors to lay the groundwork for us to be here.
Absolutely. Hey, that I couldn't have put it no better than that. All right, well, what you pulling up to the party with? You from Chicago, pulling up to the party with?
You already know. I'm gonna have some yak with me. You already know. Hey. You already know how I roll. You know, I'm gonna have some champagne because I'm still bougie. You know how I am. I always gonna have that champagne. And no, we're not talking about the sparkling wine. And no, we're not talking about that J. Roger. I'm gonna have actual champagne, right, in the cup. And you know, for me, you know I'm gonna roll up.
Yeah.
Some I said hot wings, but you know I'm gonna roll up with some fried catfish.
You
Like
have
I was
to.
surprised this whole time that I was like, hey, how about fried catfish? You know I gotta have the fried shrimp, catfish. You know, I'm definitely gonna come with a few hot sauces, that mouse on the side. Come on now, we gotta make sure that we have that. You know, yeah, that's me all day. I'm always showing up with the fried catfish and the fried seafood. That's what it is.
I wish you was home. I'm making some catfish and some greens today. I wish you was home. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, you ain't even gotta worry about it. My neighbor down the street, she already told me she got my char-grilled oysters getting ready. She got my char-grilled oysters. We got some fried catfish. It's gonna be all. And then you know what else I'm gonna bring? I'm gonna bring a cigar. Cause you know the cookout ain't what it is until you get that. After you get that eating and you start talking that ish with the fam and everything, because you know that's your pastime about the cookout. We get to talk that ish and have you a cigar. Yes, JJ's. Yes, Samara, JJ's.
JJ. No, we ain't no JJ. No. Samara, when you come back to Chicago, we can get you something better than JJ's. I got you.
There is stuff better than JJ's, but there's stuff that's way better than JJ's. But I fucks with JJ's too.
Nah, I can't do it. I got sick off one JJ's. I couldn't do it no more. I got sick one time. I'll never eat JJ's ever again. They got this is JJ's in Oakland? Didn't know that. That's what's up. Good to know. Yo, Ash, thank you. We done went way over time, but thank you, because I know you got a busy ass day today. I appreciate you come talking to you, brother. You know I love you. You already know what it is. What's understood.
Yeah, my glass is empty now. My bad. I've been drinking this.
Oh, well, fill up.
I love you. Tiff, come to talk with Alice Walker, man. That's what's up, Queen. I love it. We love to fucking see it. Oh, I cussed.
No, it's cool. You know what? Look, like cuss button.
We started cussing 3 hours ago. Shit.
We tried. Hey, Tiff,
how do you be like, have a Juneteenth day cuss?
Right. You know what I mean?
How you do Juneteenth day shit?
Before we get out of here, because Ashton was the last interview, before we get out of here, we're going to bring everybody on. You know what I mean? Just so we can do the last little cheers. You know what I mean? If y'all want to come off mute, if y'all want to have whatever's left. You know what I mean?
I ain't got no Henny.
You got your hand? The hand. Sorry, sir. That's what we, on that. You know what I mean? But everybody who's on here today, first of all, I love y'all. Thank y'all for doing this today. Shout out to Kapri for sponsoring this. Shout out everybody who's been watching on live, everybody who's in here, by all means, please leave your email, sign up for the Kapri mailing list so that you can be involved with everything they're doing. Helping me together, all for being black.
Get this dance. Get this dance. Congrats, baby. Congrats.
All my folks, man. So
get this dance.
All right, yo, cheers. I love y'all. Thank y'all.
Cheers, I love y'all.
I was supposed to do an outro with Brown and Balance, but it ain't about Brown and Balance today. It's about.
Say something.
I love y'all, man.
They can wait another 5 minutes.
Yes.
They can wait another
Say
5 minutes.
something. You gotta say something.
I mean, if y'all talk about Brown,
do we need to interview you?
I'm already late. It's nothing.
Do him. Each of us come up with a question.
You on here, it's black people.
Wait, Josh, this is Juneteenth. Ain't nothing on time and nothing in time. Like, we got all day.
We on our time.
What is
I'm on
that?
time. I gotta go. I love y'all.
Hey, I ain't
Love you, Tiffy.
Love you, Tiff.
See you later.
I want to talk about y'all. I didn't want to talk about me today. So
I want to hear about me.
Well, then talk about you. Prince.
I want you to say.
It's all about Prince today. Talk about.
I just want to hear it.
Please don't let another year go by before we all do this again.
Listen, it depends on how y'all
Can we
breathing.
do it in person?
It depends on how y'all breathing. I don't know.
Yes, we all
Y'all gotta be breathing.
New Orleans for Ashton. We all need to show up for Brown and Balance. We all need to show up for everybody.
Yeah.
Send me a meeting request
I'll
and
let
I'll
me know
be
what
there.
the next thing
That's
is.
it. I'm booking flights. It's
Also, too, I didn't say this before we got here. In the chat, there will be a link for a petition that we started to make Juneteenth a national holiday. So if y'all want to definitely sign it with everybody, that's on there as well. The Kapri mailing list will be in the chat, all of that, you know what I mean? So jump in, sign those, spread them around to your folks, man. Let's get this going. You know what I mean? Make this something big.
We'll put in BYOB happy hour today too. We'll get our members to sign on to it.
Man, look, I'll shoot you all the links too, Samara.
Yeah, please do.
I'll shoot them to everybody, and y'all can share them for whatever you're doing today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the power of our influence in our network.
yes.
Man.
Use it.
Yes.
So if we just stop one day, they wouldn't know what to do.
Right. Right.
I'm stopping.
Hey, can you send it in an email? It's better for me.
Free act like she's an old lady like me.
Oh, so look.
Send me a meeting request so I don't forget.
I'm looking at the
Sure,
Facebook.
please. I'm older than you.
Hey, I'm looking at a Facebook. Toure with Thirsty Mag. She wants to know everybody's IG. So if y'all want to shoot y'all Instagram, just tell everybody out there. By all means, shoot it out and share it.
At Black Bourbon Society. Hey, Tara.
At The Collectress and at Radical Exchange. Hey, Tara.
At Kapri.possible, KAPRI.possible, and then at chocolate.cities.best. That's CITYS instead of cities, IES.
At Holiday Like Thanksgiving, and also at Chocolate City Chocolate City's Best.
Also, I love Holiday's Instagram handle.
Oh, they like giving, yo.
They think I'm celebrating. I'm trying to murder this shit.
At Pictures and Cocktails and at A Sip of Paradise Garden. Hi, Tara. Talk to you soon, girl.
Anyone knows Tiff's offhand? Is it at The Drinking Coach?
Yeah.
At The Drinking Coach.
Where's Alexis?
Lex is at Lex Luger and at Causing a Stir _
At A Love Supreme and Turning Tables Nola. Hi, Tara.
That's everybody. Prince, come on.
Mine is at Fifi Fresh with PHs, PHEPHEPHRESH, and then at black.tivist. Fist on it.
That's everybody. Me. Hey, mine's super easy. It's at Mr. Mixologist and at Brown and Balanced.
Yes.
That's what we do.
I'm unbalanced though. I had a couple of these. I'm not unbalanced. I had a couple of these. You gotta sit down for a minute.
Oh, Prince, I can't
wait to meet all of y'all.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I followed you, so follow back. Follow back.
I need more black people on mine. I'm following everybody. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm coming to Louisville, and as soon as I do, you're the first person I dial.
Listen, I'm that girl here. Okay, I'm her here. Okay.
Get the KFC at the airport.
Yeah, I'll pull up on you. Holiday, I miss you, dog.
Miss you too, sis.
Whew, I love this. This has been powerful. I'm gonna cry when I get off here because I'm cute still. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to see all that. You know what I'm saying? It's LA. I'm put some Beyonce on and just feel myself.
Thinking about what St. Clan, how like we could put everybody together. Like
Josh, I'll be in Chicago soon. I'll let
Crash at the crib.
That's love. I wouldn't say that.
I live in the hundreds now. But Crash at the crib.
You live all the way in the hundreds though.
What that mean? I ain't from
crashing up north.
I'll be in Hyde Park. I'm gonna have to go all the way, and you already know my auntie gonna be like, "Who you staying with?" All the way. Come on now, why you even set me up for some?
Look, tell her you staying in Beverly. I live 3 blocks from Morgan Park. Tell her you staying in, not the hundreds.
All right. I know. I'll come and kick it with you one night, but I'm gonna be in Hyde Park probably for like.
Let me know, man. I'll fire the grill up when you get here. Just let me know when you come.
All right, I will.
All right.
All right. So
love you.
Love you guys.
Everybody, thank y'all.
See y'all.
taking the time out today to do this, man. And this is it, yo. We out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.